All right, welcome to Sports Radio. He's Jimmy the Bag Out, Peter Loshak. Tuesday, March 24th. We have a huge NHL card today. Gonna be fun. What is it? 15 games.
Oh yeah.
I am fully prepared for 14 of those games, Jimmy the Bag. So I'm gonna. I didn't get the overnight one with the Ottawa and Dallas, but we will break it all down. 4 NBA and then 2 NIT games with Morgan Spooner. So it's going to be a short, fun, nice show. And hopefully it'll be profitable. Have fun. All right. I'm feeling good. How you doing, Jimmy the Bag?
Oh, Pete, I can't wait to see you, man.
Oh, yeah. So
I cannot wait to see you.
Yeah.
You're going to be right beside me, Pete, in 24 hours.
Ooh.
You're going to be right beside me, man. I can't wait to see everybody, man. I can't wipe the smile off my face. Get me out of here, man. Get me out of here, man. Oh, God. I am so excited to see everybody at Pubapalooza here. I'm so excited. Nasty Nate, Justin McKelvey got Stacks Play Day 1 and 2. Dougie Wise, the truth teller. Look at that. I haven't had a losing week yet this year, man. The man is on fire. Also, he is a sports gambler. That's how he makes his living. That's how he handles. That's how he pays his bills. That's how he takes care of himself. And it's funny not funny, but you notice that when your life is on the line, things change. You up your game. You up your game. And I did last year, right after Pubapalooza. I did that, and I needed it so desperately. Pete, when I'm beside you, I've had one losing show. Last week, Pete, I went 6-0 in college basketball, 6-1 NBA with you.
Nice. Very nice.
Then I'm not following through with it in the rest of the week. There's some magic happening right here with you, Peter, that I need to harness here. Free bands play the day. Hornets are 7. Oh, first quarter. -5. I love it. Hornets 5, -5. I got to copy and paste all of this. Sorry, tripping. Old E, we're going to see Old E in person. AOD, we're going to see in person.
Oh, very nice.
We got TJ in the house. TJ, we're going to see in 24 hours. Ronnie Lofton, Drew Ski, Von Polo says, wish I was there. You're going to be there one of these years, Von Polo. And we're also going to come to you, my man. Old E, sick from it all. It's great to see all of you guys. Chappie Funk, he's going to be right there with us. Philly Eagle Flyer, Stephen Fahrenbach. Stephen Fahrenbach says, FOMO at an all-time high. Stephen, next year we need you. Jake Burns, DC Capper. Salty Pete says, hello, fam. Who's in that cash? Do you know who's winning? We have the confidence pool and bracket pool in full effect. Do you know who is winning the bracket pool at the moment, Peter?
Not Jose Bouquet.
No. My mom.
No way.
My mom delivering the goods. Her bottom brackets were perfect. They were perfect at one point. The Midwest and the South. I'll have to see if she's still perfect. The Goracle right behind her, though. The Goracle right behind her for the bracket contest. And then for the confidence pool. Now, remember, there is a big bonus for the confidence pool from Harbor Acres Cottages, $350 American on top of the winner. For the winner, and it is a tie between the Goracle and Susie Easton. My family getting paid. 10 points back is Garcia Gaming. 15 points backs of the Goracle and Susie is Ryan G. And then there's you, Peter Loshak.
Yeah.
Peter Loshak right there. Let's just take a look. The Goracle has Arizona, St. John's, Michigan State, Michigan, Illinois, and Iowa. What spectacular! The Goracle destroying March Madness right now. He had Iowa money line.
Wow.
Iowa money line against Florida.
Wow.
So Susie has St. John's, Illinois, Arizona, Michigan, Houston, Texas as well. So it's going to be fun to see that all come down. Peter Loshak, 25 points back. 25 points back. You have St. John's, UConn, Houston, Michigan, and Purdue. Shout out to Harbor Acres Cottages for the bonus. And then to our bracket contest with here, Mama Bag in first. 2 points ahead of Gorky and Kong's Clips. So excitement, absolute excitement there in our contest. I've got a copy of Kelly McInnes, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You are going to be there at some point here. We got Flank Steak, Super True Story, Robert McCormick, J Dub in the house. So we're pumped up. We're pumped up about Pubapalooza. Now there's cappers that can't be there, whom we love dearly. It saddens us. We have one capper in particular, who has sent us a video. Peter, he sent us a video. He can't be here this week. Our thoughts are with him. What a great, great guy he is. But let's just play our video from our friend Julian Cesario from Los Angeles, California. Jose, can you play the video, my friend?
Pub Sports Radio fam, what's happening? Julian Cesario here. This is the week, Pub 5, man. Wish I could be there. Had my trip booked. Unfortunately, I had to cancel due to some health issues. I'll be going under the knife. I'll be having open heart surgery next month. I just want to thank every single one of you for all the positive vibes, blessings, and phone calls, texts, and all that. This is a true fam. I appreciate every one of you, man, and wish you guys all the best this week with all your picks. You guys will be playing poker on Friday night. I do have my last show before my surgery this Friday night in Long Beach. I'll be going live on TikTok. For those of you who aren't playing, in the poker tournament, tune on in, man, and I'll be rocking some Stone Temple Pilots songs for y'all. Once again, like I said, thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. I will see you all next year, man, at Pub 6, stronger than ever. Thank you so much. Come on, let's go.
Our guy, Julian Cesario. What a guy.
Yeah.
We love him so much, and we will be sending all of the positive energy, all the healing energy we can to our man who is facing his second open heart surgery with confidence and strength, leading by example, showing us all how we must behave if we're ever put in situations like that. We no pity, no fucking wallowing. We think of Julian Cesario's strength, and we show that same strength if possible. I mean, he's just an incredible, incredible man. Jose, can we have on Friday night on one of our TVs, can we have it with Julian Cesario's concert?
Sure.
Oh, that'd be dope. Hey, let's get Julian Cesario's concert playing in the back of that poker tournament. We've been working on the rules for the poker tournament right now. We're going one table at a time. And do you know who our dealer is for the poker tournament, Jose?
Is it Jose Bouquet?
Semi-professional, maybe, well, amateur. Let's call it amateur. But yes, and he's going to be so much fun dealing, man. And I think it's going to be great. I really think it's going to be a lot of fun having him dealing. So our dealer for the tournament is Jose Bouquet. Man,
shuffler, Pete. Bought a card shuffler this year. So I'm prepared, Pete. So no bullshit from you this year, huh?
They should. I watch those like card mechanics. I forgot their names, but there's two of them. One's an Asian guy who's awesome, and then there's another like white guy who's awesome. I'm obsessed with like card mechanic videos now. Although you never know how much they're using just like AI video editing to do it. But maybe you think Jose has it in him to be a card mechanic and deal 4 aces wherever he needs them dealt?
No, I don't. But I think he's just going to make it so much fun, man.
Yes.
I really do. I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to add to the fun too, and we thank him for it. It's a service he's doing us.
Yeah, I wish everyone luck, except Peter Loshak.
Yeah, because I don't need it. He knows that. Let's make it even. Rich
in Man City says the team shuffler is lasting about 18 minutes. He's right. It's going to break really fast. I'm going to help with the dealing on the Friday, but I'm going to be pretty deep in the soup. God, I can't wipe the smile off my face. I'm so excited. So Wednesday, betting with the bag. We hope that Pete can get in time to make an appearance on it, but it is 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be live at Southtown 101, and we're going to have Wine Time, Spooner, Jose, TJ, all live on that show beside me. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully we can get Nasty Nate. We get others who are down there. Dabby Cab won't be there in time. LJ, I don't think will be there in time either. But whoever can make it down, please come down to the studio. We're going right from the airport to the studio. And then Thursday and Friday, Loshak and the Bags. They're all going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern because we have got in the building on Friday before us. So all our shows down in Southtown are going to be 1 p.m. Eastern. I know it's a little later than usual, but if that gives us an extra hour to cap and hydrate and, take Advil, liquid Advil, and regroup and try to eat something before we start boozing again, that will only help us. So that is the plan of attack. Nasty Nate says, I think it works better with 2 decks and you pass the deal around the table. I do too, but also I can help deal that first table as well. So we'll figure out all of that. They're saturated.
You guys don't believe in the shuffler? You guys don't believe in the shuffler? Nay, you guys settle down. These cards are going to be shuffled the fucking best you've ever seen them. I promise you that.
Okay. Saturated, man. Get in your car, Saturated, and drive down and meet us, man. I need Saturated there too. But man, what a group, what a list we have of cappers coming. I'm so excited. Mr. Sean Higgs booked as well for Thursday and Friday. And there's so many cappers that I cannot wait to see.
I definitely remember the last time Jose was like, we don't know what the hell was going on some of those hands. One guy would get 3 cards, another guy's getting 1. 2 cards turned over here and there. It was kind of a disaster at times, like 20% of the hands. 80%
I think he's going to be excellent. I think that he is going to be excellent here. I'm pumped up, man. I'm pumped up. I'm so excited. Well, now let's do what we did last week. Only 1 week I've had a losing week with you, Pete. Every other week has been not just winning weeks, but smash and grabs.
Wow. Damn.
And I need it here. 12-1 in basketball with you last Tuesday. I need it here. I was 6-0 in the NIT at that point, and then now I'm 10-5 in the NIT. Like I need the Peter Loshak magic here.
Sorry, I'm laughing at TJ Betts going, it'll 100% be a disaster. Wait until split pots and side pots.
No, we can help with the math, right? We can help with the math. I think he's going to be great. Also, look, do you want some sort of
confirm? Not a math guy, guys. I that's been long established. Not a math guy.
The dealers that we've paid for in the past will pale in comparison to Jose. We just can't compare Jose to Big Show. That's all, right?
That's true. Yes. There's going to be significantly more tits on me than the paid dealers. We'll say that. More tits, less correct math. You have to weigh those out.
I don't think I like either. I don't think I like either. Let's get to work here. DC Capper says, how was the start of March Madness? The start was spectacular, but as days went on, I started giving it back here. Let's roll, Peter. I'm very excited about this National Hockey League card. I've made 10 bets. There are two totals where the line's just moving in the opposite direction. One I still want to bet. I'm probably gonna believe in the market and make a bet that doesn't, each team's played 6 straight unders or 7 straight or whatever, and I'm gonna take the over because the market's telling me to. I may. But there's a side I want, but I'm still waiting for the line to move against that side. Other than that, I've made 10 bets in the National Hockey League, Peter, and I cannot wait to rock. So let's get right after it, my friend.
All right. Well, first one, Toronto-Boston. I'm assuming if you made 10 bets on this card, Boston -1's got to be one of them, right?
Certainly is.
Boston, 3 OT games on a road trip, but then they won 2 in a row. And Boston, of course, big home road dichotomy split there. And Toronto, mostly losing. They're bad. They can get you a win here and there, but mostly they suck. And I'm not sure if there's any reason to think that they're going to rise to this occasion here. Obviously, the line was pretty high. First line I saw was -185 for Boston. But, would still be taking Boston -1. I think even at that line, I believe in them. I believe in Toronto not changing their form, at least for this game.
Yeah, I'm on Boston -1, as you predicted. That's available exactly. You could probably get a better line than what I got. I got -190 on the money line, puck line +135. Give me -123. I'm certain you can get better. Leafs, Boston Bruins. Put a fork in the Leafs. They're just done. They are done. Done, absolutely done here. And I just, I don't want to wax too much because we have 15 games to go through, but Trey Living is such an ass clown. I don't know how, call Dubas a toddler, who has now put together a hockey team in Pittsburgh, but all the mistakes he made, at least there was a new voice. We keep rehashing these, guys who've not succeeded. I know it's this old boys network where they just keep giving jobs to people who have failed miserably. Trey Living should not have got a job for how he gave Sam Bennett away for nothing and got terrible players back for the Matthew Tkachuk trade. And yet he gets this job here in Toronto. This game is going to be the perfect example of how bad Trey Living is. He traded Fraser Minton for Brandon Carlo and a first-round pick. That because the Leafs have been such trash, going to be between the number 5 and number 10 overall for the Bruins this year. Fraser Minten is so accountable defensively with size that coach, like, I got to play him on the first line. I got to play him every chance I get. So now Pasternak is his winger because Minten is so accountable defensively. He's a future Selke winner. He's going to follow, and I don't want to say Patrice Bergeron steps because, those are shoes that you can't fill, but he's a future Selke winner for best defensive forward. And, of course, the Leafs gave him away. A young, tough, accountable, big sniper center. What idiots. And Trey Living, he'll keep his job. Shanahan will keep his job. And all we can do is stock up on ski masks and stock up on metal batons so that someday, hopefully, now I'm not a Leafs fan. I kind of like seeing them lose. But if you are and you see him walk into his Mercedes, you take out the baton and you give him the Nancy Kerrigan because that's all we have left. Joseph Wall going up against Jeremy Swayman here. We have Wall 14-13-6, 904 save percentage. Speaking of this, just messed up franchise. Before their loss to Ottawa, 5-2 loss to Ottawa on Saturday, of course, Willie Nylander, Mr. What's our nickname for him again? Mr. Casual. Yeah, Mr. Casual. He takes a shot, hits in pregame warmups, hits Stolars in the throat, and Stolars has to go immediately to the hospital. You don't raise the puck in warmups. I mean, it's just for how many years have your coaches told you not to raise the puck in warmups? If the goalie's in net, don't raise the puck. I mean, it's just. But of course, Nylander, Mr. Casual, don't give a fuck. Snipes one, hits Stolars in the throat. Stolars goes to the hospital. I mean, it's just. So Toronto power play at 18.8%, ranked 20th. Their penalty killing is being strong, 82.7%. Boston power play at 23.8%, ranked 7th. Penalty killing 25th at 77.7%. But this Leafs power play is so weak. I have interest in this under. But I can't trust. I mean, we know the Bruins are playing the low-scoring games at home, but I can't trust the Leafs to play defensively accountable hockey. So I'm not going to bet it. Like, I just don't want to get in the way of my Bruins -1. This is the first of a back-to-back for both teams. Leafs coming off their third straight loss, 4th in 5 games, 5-2 at Ottawa on Saturday. So they host the Rangers tomorrow night. Austin Matthews, Chris Tanev done for the season. Morgan Riley day-to-day with a lower body injury. Boston comes in off its second straight win, 4-2 at Detroit on Saturday. This is the first of a back-to-back as they play at Buffalo tomorrow night. Boston's completely healthy group, and there's so much on the line for the Bruins to win. I mean, the Bruins must win. This is the time of year that we excel. Now, I look at this record. I'm ashamed of this record, but I have time to fix it. I have time to change it. I expect to do that, and I'm going to start with Bruins -1, Peter.
Yeah, I'm going to be on Bruins -1, -120. I was actually leaning over the early line I saw was 6 -115, and it's now gotten bet up. But I don't know if, I agree with you. It's just stay solid, do what you do, and stick with Bruins -1.
Yeah, I would love to add the under, but I'm not going to. I just got to keep it clean. Hey, Boston completely healthy.
Jose didn't update my NHL record.
I haven't gotten your updated NHL record,
Pete. No, baby. I'm up 2.5 units.
Okay, I got you. Send me your updated record, Pete. Thank you.
I sent them a while ago, but all right.
Yeah, it's probably on Twitter, on our group on X, Jose, I believe. Okay, but let's roll on, Peter. Hurricanes, Canadiens.
All right, Hurricanes and Canadiens. Carolina generally good. They don't always win, but generally good. Montreal also good, but they definitely sometimes flame out at home. They're off a 7-goal home win, but their 3-game homestand before that, they had 2 losses as like a -150, -160 fave, and then an OT win as a -160 fave. So Montreal clearly can get overvalued at home. But I was thinking, like, I'll be honest, when you're expecting a line that's way off from the market, I was like, maybe if Montreal is a big enough favorite, I'll take Carolina here. But Montreal opened as the dog, which surprised me a little bit, and that made me think maybe Montreal as a home dog would have some value.
I'm right with you with the maybe, and I'm right with you. And AM saying not betting this. Rich and Van City saying these teams play again in 5 days in Carolina. This is a very difficult cap, and I'm not saying that an angle can't be found. We have a total here at 6.5 -120 to the over. So we had 19-cent move to the over. I have a vividness bias of cashing these Hurricane under 6.5 since we'd never get a 6.5 last year. But I'm not, I'm going to respect the market in this spot here. You have Carolina minus 135 on the money line. Went down to minus. I mean, it's just barely moved. It's moved within 3 cents. There are some road teams that AM is on this one. Sorry, he was talking about. He's on. It says Canadian spot all day. Brandon Bussey and Jakub Dobish. Now Dobish has been better of late. Getting pushed here with the opportunity to be the number one goaltender. It seems like he's taken it. Bussey is 894 save percentage. Dobish 893. Carolina power play 9th, penalty killing 15th. Montreal now is the 3rd-ranked power play in the National Hockey League. It looks as if Suzuki, who I picked in the second round in the hockey pool this year, has a chance for 100 points. We haven't had a Hab with 100 points since 85-86. Matt's Naslund. I believe that's it. If a Habs fan tells me that, I think that's the case. Montreal power play 3rd, but they're penalty killing 27th. But Montreal power play getting to 3rd. This is dangerous. When you have a team that can snipe those power, the play can be going against you. You get a power play, you snipe one quickly. Hurricanes coming up their 3rd straight win, 4th in 5 games, 5-1 at the Penguins on Sunday. It was impressive. This is the final game of a 3-game trip. Only Ghost is out for them, lower body injury. Ghost is bare. Montreal comes in off their 2nd win in 3 games, 7-3 at home over the Islanders on Saturday. This is game 2 of a 3-game homestand. Line A out until the end of the month with an abdomen injury. Kirby Dach out for the rest of the regular season is expected with an upper body injury. Josh Anderson day-to-day with an upper body injury. Philly Eagle Flyers says on the over and the draw, says leaning Canes team total over. I like the risk reward opportunity for the Habs. I'm not getting in line to fade the Hurricanes right now, but I certainly understand the idea behind it. I think you're getting the right price to do it. This probably shouldn't be a maybe a plus 115 spot. AM says rest advantage for the Habs. That home game is more important for the Habs in tight playoff race versus Hurricanes completed first. Love the spot. Yeah, I agree with your take, AM, for sure. For sure. I'm not at this point. And Rod Zweig says when playing their 3rd road game in 5 days, Carolina 7-2. Vincent Hawkins says this game's going over. I wouldn't be against the Habs here, moving on the Habs. I mean, I think the risk reward's right, but I'm going to keep question marks by it. I really like some of the spots on this board. This one I found was difficult. Peter, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I also was thinking. I was expecting Montreal to be a favorite, so I was also thinking about Carolina team total over as well. Like a lot of people. I mean, does Montreal hold teams down really?
No, they outscore teams.
Yeah.
They certainly need Josh Anderson in the lineup for this game.
And Carolina, I mean, they've definitely been exploding offensively recently. Is that fluky, or is that who?
No,
they are?
they're just
pretty much who they are, right?
They're going to be a very tough out, very very tough out come playoff time.
Yeah.
But
all right, I'm gonna take the Carolina. I'm gonna do a little bit of an iffy thing. Could be a 3.5 at like plus money. I'm gonna take 3 at minus 160. I'll take Carolina team total over 3 minus 160.
All right. Okay, you are in business. Res Mob in the house. Love having Rod Zawacki with his angles. AM as well. Vincent Hawkins, Phil Eagle Flyer, Kelly McInnes, Rich in Man City. All these great NHL cappers in here. Lucas Ryan. Keep all these playing. And TJ, of course. Keep them all rolling in. Love to hear your action on this one. Let's roll on, Peter, to our next spot on the board. I have tripled up on this game.
Oh, really? The Ottawa Detroit game. That was a game with no overnight line because there was a back-to-back, and I just did not. I did not look at this game. I just ran out of time. I was doing a few other things, and I apologize. I see that Detroit is a small favorite here over Ottawa. Standard total of 6, and Ottawa, of course, won yesterday at the Rangers, low-scoring game, 2-1, and the Detroit is not on a back-to-back. So Ottawa, of course, has been excellent, winning most games. But Detroit's now a favorite here. I just didn't look into this yet.
It's a wild spot.
Mm-hmm.
Senators now. I mean, do we count Nick Jensen? I don't. He's been out for the year for a little while. They now have 5 defensemen out. Jake Sanderson, superstar, out. Then they lose Shabbat and Thompson last night. Dennis Gilbert, out. So, when you look at I love this spot. Now, I've made 3 bets on this game, and honestly, the Red Wings bet that I've made, I like third. I like the other 2 bets better. It's possible here. We've seen. It's possible that we. Sorry, I just got a message. My daughter's doing some tooth orthodontist stuff. Sorry, I gotta just rock me for a second. So, in this situation, we've seen teams step up, and I'm not going to put that beyond. The Senators were holding the Rangers, 4 or 5 minutes in the third period to 4 shots on goal. I'd never seen a number that low. They're playing very, very good hockey, but you can't handle this many injuries. And you sort of saw it with their offense. I mean, they were completely dominating the play, but you need your defense to give you the opportunity, the outlet passes. They have Clevin and Zub now as their number 1. Spence and Montempalo is number 2. And I like Jordan Spence, but this is your 6th defenseman now because of injuries. Zub, Clevin, Spence, Montempalo, Andonovsky, and Yakimchuk. The Senators are probably not going to make the playoffs now. This is just too much to overcome. Dutch boy fresh on the Pelicanos plus 8.5. I'm right with you, Dutch. We're on the public side. I doubled up on the public side, though. I agree that sometimes public will get their day. I'm right with you, Dutch. I doubled up on the bet. I've got 6 bets in NBA today. I'm looking forward to hit that card. Cannot wait to see Dutch Saturday at Pub. And Dutch, the poker tournament's all set up for your inclusion. So we've moved the final regular table to the Saturday so you can be there. But it's just too much for Ottawa to overcome. Now, Detroit could be getting Dylan Larkin back. If Dylan Larkin comes back, I mean, now you have your star player returning. You have the Senators with the chips down. I had to bet it. I had to bet it. That's all. I had to bet it. And what's going to happen, we've talked about it so often, is that when a team loses 3 or 4 defensemen, and the first thing that you would think of, and it was when I was younger, it was the first thing I thought of was, they're going to allow more goals. They're going to be a higher scoring game. And I've learned, from trial and error that it's the opposite. Their defensemen aren't going to pinch at all. Their defensemen aren't going to deliver outlet passes to create odd man rushes. The Senators are going to have a tough time scoring, but the Senators are going to play with an enormous amount of heart with all these guys out. So, thank you, Dutch, man. I'm so pumped, man. I can't wait. Thank you. Lucas Ryan just ordered a 99 pack of ski masks. That says Cardinal season is closed. Thank you, Lucas. Man, yeah, I'll live vicariously. So I'm on the under 6. And, Billy Briz said he's like 15-game NHL card, Jimmy. Give me a banger. I honestly think at this point, and it could change, that the best bet on the entire board in the National Hockey League today is the first period under 1.5 in this hockey game. There's so much on the line. You're going to get no pinching ever from any Senator defenseman. I really enjoyed watching Spence last night. Let me go back to him. Japanese hockey player. We haven't had a ton of them. Also born in Australia, so this is the different story. He's very mobile. He's an undersized defenseman, but I think he's got a ton of skill. I think the first period under, the full game under 6, I love them. And then I'm on Detroit because I felt like I kind of had to be. I like that third of these bets. So that's my action here. We have Ottawa's power play, 11th. Detroit, neither team is very good special teams. Ottawa's penalty killing is the 3rd worst in the National Hockey League. Detroit's power play is slipped with Larkin out of the lineup. You have Ullmark, who seems to be playing inspired hockey in net for the Senators. For the Red Wings, Johnny Gibson is playing very well. So it's Ullmark, Gibson. It's a playoff type feel, and I've tripled up on this game. Rodswag says, been on Ottawa on the money line when they allowed 2 or less goals. Ottawa record during the 2026 season, 26-4. If Ottawa was to step up and Ullmark was to be incredible and they won this game 2-1 or 1-0, I wouldn't be shocked. So triple up for me here, Peter.
Okay, I didn't look at the game, so I'm not going to add anything to my official play, but I might tell you with actual bets. And I'm also just glancing at this Carolina Montreal game at two big sharp books. There's a huge discrepancy in the line. One has Montreal plus 105, the other has them plus 119 at the same time.
Wow.
Big books. Crazy, right?
You almost never see that unless it's stale. Yeah, wow, that's
no. These are I'm logged into both right now, so it's not.
It's
not
the game. There is a lot of conjecture in that hockey game.
Yeah,
you could make legitimate arguments on the Hurricanes, the Habs, the over 6.5, and the under 6.5. It's a tricky one.
Crazy. All right. Okay, I'll stick with Carolina team total or whatever. All right, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Seattle, Florida's next game. I don't know. Seattle can get wins, but they lose more than that, especially recently. They did have a nice 6-2 home win over Florida recently. That was one of their few recent wins. Florida back home off a 4-game trip. They lost 3 of them, but they have won 4 of their last 5 home games. So they're, kind of playing all right at home. And, I don't know. Is this when you have two teams like this, Seattle and Florida, is Florida thinking about revenge just because they lost somewhat recently bad to Seattle? Maybe they do. Maybe that is how these players think. Do they care about that? I don't know. Seattle, though, is kind of desperate, though, trying to save their season. So I'm not really sure. I was thinking maybe, Seattle first period, maybe Seattle team total over. I'm not sure.
I think I can get to where AM is. I wanted to talk. I think I can get to the Panthers. The problem, obviously, is that the Panthers season is over, but they do seem to care when they are at home. But clearly, their season is over. 71 points in 69 games. They're 14 points out of the playoff spot right now. And then the question is, the problem with this game is the Kraken have so much to play for, and yet they're playing terribly. The Kraken right now are sitting 4 points out of a playoff spot with 1 game in hand, and the Kings 2 points ahead of them, not in a playoff spot. They've lost 3 straight games. They've lost 7 of their past 9. This is game 3 of a very, very important 6-game trip. And what the truth is, and something that we've taken advantage of and really succeeded at this time of year, is that it's very, very hard to win on the road now. But again, the elephant in the room is the Panthers, they don't care. And that's a problem. But they are at home, and now they get big crowds out for their hockey games despite being out of it here. So we have a Panthers team that comes back home off of a 4-game Canadian road trip where they lost 3 games by margin and then beat the Oilers, shut them out. They must have loved it. They must have said it's perfect for them. Now they come back for 2 home games before heading out on a short New York road trip again. I think that the rest is big. They flew back home on Saturday. Now they can turn it up for the Kraken. I could probably get there. Let's just take a look at what the line history is. And, of course, the injury report, which is so important for the Florida Panthers, is being a mess here. So Marchand going to be done for the year. Reinhart and Lundell are day-to-day. Are they going to be back? I mean, if you told me right now that – I think I could make the bet without it. But if you told me that Reinhart or Lundell were back or both, I could bet them right now. So he didn't travel with the team for the 4-game trip. So does anybody have that info? If Reinhart and Lundell, I was hoping that maybe we'd have it by now. Reinhart didn't travel, so is he going to be shut down? I think this is crucial information. And Lundell played that last game. He played that last game. Or no, he missed the Flames game and played the Oilers game. So, I think I need that information. I think that is just crucial here. So that's what I'm going to leave in my notes here is Reinhart and Lundell in. I'll come in. So if Reinhart and Lundell are in, if both of them are in, I'm in for sure. If one of them are in, I'm likely in. So I need to know that information here. Reinhart is out, says Rodswag. So Lundell's still questionable. Okay, so that's. Yeah, now you got Sam Bennett back. I just need one of them in. Give me one of them. Again, the Kraken's whole season's on the line. I could also just stay off of this game. I could also just do that. So we have Philip Grubauer, 12-9-3, 2.62 goals against average, 909 save percentage listed. I think that he will be. And Daniil Tarasov is listed as well. I think that they'll give him opportunities here down the stretch with nothing to play for. Florida power play 19th, but they're going up against the worst penalty killing unit, or second worst in the National Hockey League. The problem is you don't have Reinhart, the power play specialist. So that hurts there. Then you have Seattle's 15th ranked power play, 21.3%, going up against a very tough Florida penalty kill. And TJ says it's an easy stay away game. Yeah, if Lundell is in, I might. And then TJ's right. Who knows if and when they show up? Because when they show up, look, they'll shut out the Oilers, who are obviously in tough shape. I'm out of this one, Pete, at this point, but I could get to the Panthers. Shout out to our guy, Just My 2 Cents in the house, TC. So I could get to the Panthers, but at this point, I'm off, Peter.
Okay, I tailed Truth Teller's live tennis play right there. Thank you, Truth Teller. Okay, yeah, I'm going to pass on this one. Seattle's just not playing well.
Let's roll on. To Blackhawks Islanders. It's all
right. Next one. Yeah,
game.
Blackhawks Islanders. Chicago, another team. They can get you a win, but mostly losing. Islanders been better, playing lower scoring games. They're off a 1-zip home win. And the total was just no brainer. Hit the under, bought to 6. It was 5.5 at plus money. So I bought up to 6. I don't know where it is right now, but Chicago, they're out of the playoffs. Still seems like they're playing hard, and the Isles fighting for the playoffs. And I kind of a no brainer thing. Under 6. Both these teams, not too offensively impressive right now. So I took the under. I don't know. Maybe it was a mistake. It was too obvious.
Well, it's the most.
And now it's gotten bet higher. Wow, look at that.
Exactly. And
Holy crap.
so here with this one. Now, look, the total going up in Washington, St. Louis. I mean, we're talking makes no sense whatsoever. This is the second total. I wanted both, obviously. This one climbing up, not as tough. Oh, and look at there you go. That's why. Soderblom and Riddick. Thank you, Coin. There had to be something.
Yeah.
There just had to be something. And Coin's got it there. So it's Soderblom and Riddick. So you're not getting Spencer Knight and Sorokin. So there's the tail. Chicago power play ranked 22nd, 18.3%. They have the number 1 penalty killing in the league. Even it stayed that way without Jason Dickinson. New York Islanders power play 16.6%, ranked 27th. Their penalty kill ranked 10th at 81.1%. I was right there with you here. One of the things about both side and total, the Blackhawks games are almost to me becoming, you can't bet them because they're playing at a very high level. As well as they can play against better teams, and it's still they're taking these better teams to overtime or beating them, and it's very difficult. We just talked about the total going up. At least you can explain it now. That doesn't necessarily mean that the under's a mess, but it does change things. We know of Knight and Sorokin. You've had this huge move towards the Chicago Blackhawks, so you could say, well, it's because it's Riddick and not Sorokin, but now you got Soderblom and not Knight, so. Still, so that move is very legitimate towards the Blackhawks, 27-cent move. I want to bet on the Predators are bet on. And, TJ's been betting them and cashing, and he was on them against the Blackhawks. And I was like, I couldn't, I think he was. We at least discussed the game. I couldn't do it. Because look who the Blackhawks have been playing. And then look who the Islanders have been playing. So the Islanders just beat Columbus 1-0 in a playoff type hockey game. They lost at Montreal 7-3. They lost to Ottawa 3-2. They beat Toronto and they beat Calgary. And look what the Blackhawks have done. They played Nashville, Colorado, Minnesota twice in a home and home in Vegas. They're playing very, very tough hockey. I don't want Chicago, but I'm maybe I look. I this line move is enough just to get me off the game because you would think that. It's almost a moot point that both starters are out. So then that 27-cent move towards the Blackhawks is a very legitimate move. TJ saying 3 and 4 nights with travel, even though they came back for that game 1 of the homestand. So we got the answer why the total is going up, and I'm off this hockey game, Peter.
All right, I'll take the under anyway. 6 minus 110. We'll see. Hopefully one of them can be okay.
6, and this is official.
Yeah, I mean the reason they've been lower, they're not offensive oriented teams, are they?
The Islanders are capable of it. The Islanders are a little bit of an enigma. The Blackhawks certainly are not an offensive hockey team.
Yeah.
This game interests me so much. So does the next one. Let's roll into Columbus, Philadelphia.
All right, Columbus, they continue generally to be good. They are off of a 1-0 loss at the Islanders. Philly back home off a 3-game West Coast trip. They won all three of them as a dog. And so Philly now they've won 9 of 12, but 7-0 on the road in that run, and just 2-3 in their 5 home games in that run. So they've been rolling on the road, but at home a bit underwhelming. And Columbus again, generally they continue to be a good team, and they're off a loss. So I got another kind of no-brainer-ish thing. Columbus first period and maybe full game -1.
I want Columbus badly. By the way, Rod's White said Islanders are 12-3 in the third game in 4 nights, including 6-1 at home. That's a great stat, Rod. Nuke Wicker in the house. What up, Nuki? I want the Blackhawks. I'm just waiting for the line to move towards. Excuse me. I want the Jackets. Pardon me. I want the Jackets. I'm just waiting for the line to move towards the Philadelphia Flyers. How is it not moving towards the Flyers? I mean, it shows a lot of strength in the Jackets. Is what it does, and it looks like this line's not going to move. There was a 3-cent move towards the Flyers. Now it's come back. I want to fade. I fade every single team coming off sweeping a road trip. I've done it with success my whole life. So that's a must move. It is the third game in 4 nights for Columbus, but you have Philadelphia flying back from the West Coast. They did have the extra day, though. So it's not like they flew yesterday and played today. Jet Greaves, 909 save percentage, being quite good this year. Dan Vladar, 2.41 goals against average, 908 save percentage. Then you have the Philadelphia power play getting worse by the minute. Every time they're out there, they get worse. The worst power play in the league at 14.9%. Jackets don't have a very strong penalty kill. I do the Flyers. AM says Flyers, money line +106. Love the Flyers here. Rest advantage at home, fighting for playoffs lives, revenge, great current form. Yeah, that's all completely valid. But I have the success I have off fading teams off sweeping road trips is something that I'm very, very, very thankful for. And I'm going to keep betting. So I'm on the Jackets. This line is a very strong line for the Jackets, -135 on the road, and I guess it's not going to happen. So, I guess it's time here to move as soon as the show's over. I guess it's not going to happen. TJ saying that the center Icemen are going to be back here for Philadelphia. Couturier, Barkey, Glendening, all day to day. And, will that affect at all, their rhythm and how they've been playing? I mean, that's up for you guys to decide here. But, Couturier only missed 2 games, right? Only missed the last 2 games of the road trip. So this is what I do. So I must fade Philadelphia. I must fade teams off sweeping road trip, and all the better if it's a California trip for an East Coast team. I mean, it's just all the better. So I'm on the Columbus Blue Jacket. Well, I'm going to be on the Columbus Blue Jacket. I was just sitting there hoping that a line would move towards the Flyers, which it hasn't. We have Rod Zweig says bet against Philadelphia on the money line of 3-game winning streak. Philadelphia's record since 2025, 0-8. Says bet on Philadelphia on the money line when they score 2 or less goals. Philadelphia's record during the 2026 season, 2-26. So I guess I'm gonna have to deal with the -135, and that's fine. I will. I'm going to be on the Blue Jackets, Peter.
All right, I'm going to take Columbus first period -125, and I might double up either like Columbus first to score or just to score in the first period at like -160 or so. I'll look for a second bet maybe, but definitely first period -125 official.
-125, okay.
Yeah.
All right, you're in business, my friend. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. PPG Paints Arena, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, Colorado, their third road game, they won the first 2 as big faves. Last one was an OT, though. And Pittsburgh, not great, not terrible, but they're off a pretty bad loss, a 5-1 loss to Carolina. And, my note for this game was how huge of a fave will Colorado be here? And they opened up around, -155 or so. And, of course, again, how much does revenge matter in NHL? I'm not exactly sure because Colorado did get blown out at home by Pittsburgh a week ago. So do they remember that? Sure. Do they care? I don't know. You tell me, Jim. You know these NHL mentalities better than I do. And so, Landeskog, of course, makes a big deal for Colorado. He's in here. And I guess if you take the revenge factor in, then yeah, Colorado first period, maybe -1, maybe team total over, something like that. Pittsburgh is coming off a bad loss though, and they're not terrible.
Look, I agree. I think Colorado remembers that 7-2 loss. It was not just a loss; they got beaten badly. Pittsburgh coming off a 5-1 loss to Carolina, that doesn't help. This is an angry group that has put themselves in a great position. They're a point up on both Columbus and the Islanders. So there's, a ton on the line here. And yeah, Stan, we were just talking about it. We were just talking about the spot. It's tough. We got Shelovs and Wedgwood confirmed. Thank you, Coin. AM says, I'm off this game, but I've only seen everyone lining up to be on the Avs here, romanticizing the revenge spot. On the other hand, Penguins are now playing total on a playoff spot while the Avs are comfortably in first. And he's passing. I agree with everybody who says, look, I think Colorado is angry about that loss. They've won 2 straight on this road trip. Why wouldn't they come in and beat Pittsburgh here? The problem is, of course, Pittsburgh coming off 5-1 loss. That's the problem for me here is the price, Peter.
Yeah.
-155. I mean, it's moved 5 cents towards him. I had moved 10. It's just not that's not the risk reward I'm looking for. So I would have to take him on the -1 line. So, that's just it feels like I'm just asking for too much. Malkin is going to be out. Yes, that's a very important point. Thank you, No Malkin. Thank you, Philly Eagle Fly. Very crucial point. They've been a pretty healthy group all year. Ryan Shea, they're hoping to have in the lineup a defenseman, but it's just Lizotte, basically, of the players they've been using that are out. Malkin, having Malkin out does hurt them. I think Avalanche do. I do think that they, keep this winning streak going. They know that Dallas is knocking on their door. This is game 3 of the trip. They started on Friday, Saturday off. So Friday they beat the Blackhawks, Saturday off. Sunday they beat the Capitals, Monday off. Tuesday they face Pittsburgh. TJ said he's looking for an under 7. Justin McKelvey is the over 6.5 in his pocket. I guess the more I sit with the problem is that the elephant in the room for me is the 5-1 loss to Carolina. And it's not like Sid's going to be telling you guys, we just beat this team 7-2 in Colorado. They're going to be out for blood. And then you'd have to bet a -1. What has not worked for me this year is not believing in this Pittsburgh Penguins team or their heart. They're clearly more than the sum of their parts. They're not as good without Malkin out there. And is the Avalanche -1 the proper risk reward? Stan Lynn says, Avs with revenge got blown at home by Penn 7-2. Oh, yeah. No, I get it. But look, you're paying for it. It's a very expensive road team here against a team with character that just lost 5-1. Look, I'm not on Pittsburgh here. I can understand the Colorado pass, but I just don't see the reward for it. Do you see it, Peter, on a Colorado -1? Is that worth it?
I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh. That's the big question. You just labeled Pittsburgh as a high character team or something like that.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Yeah,
they're very high character, way more than the sum of their parts.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean they've had kids step up, and not only that, but it's been a perfect mix for them. Honestly, they've had kids step up, and they've had veterans play at a high level. I mean, Ben Kindle is the real deal. You have Rust. I mean, what of the players who have stepped up the most? I mean, I think that you almost want to start with, look how good Erik Karlsson's playing. Dubas is many negative things I've said about him. I really like the Girard trade. I getting Girard and a second rounder. I mean, I like. This is not and see, like, I'm right with TJ. He says I lost more money in the NHL betting against Pitt than any other team this year. I mean, I don't know. I don't have that information in front of me, but questioning or not believing in their character has hurt me. And I'd be hesitant to do it here. I just don't think a -1 is the proper risk reward. It's the only way I'd look. So I'm going to keep Avalanche -1 there, but it's just going to be filled with question marks at this point. I don't think I can get there.
Yeah, the
Rod
Avs
Wagon
don't
saying
look
4-1
like
Avs here.
quite
Penn's going to struggle to score. Yeah, Pete.
They don't look quite like a juggernaut right now, do they?
Colorado?
Yeah.
No, but is this where they turn it on? I mean, they didn't have a reason to really need to become one for a while. They were in sole control of the division before the Stars put that 10-game winning streak together. Right now they're 5 points up. 5 points up, and they have a game in hand, so they can get that stretch here. Stan says McKinnon gunning for scoring title MVP. Oh, look, it's Kuch's. It's Kuch's, man. Kucherov is a monster. Absolute monster. Absolutely incredible. I mean the scoring title. The Art Ross. I know MVP will be up for sure. But yeah, Pete, I don't think there's a proper risk reward. Rod's Wagon says Avs 10-0 revenge spot. They remember. Yeah, I mean it's Avs -1 or no bet for me, and that's it. And I might get there. I'm gonna wait on it a little longer. You guys all of you guys who believe in the Avs here, I do respect it. I do think you guys are on the right track. And Philly Eagle Flyer on Avs team total over 1.5 third period plus 148. Anything for you, Peter? Do we roll on?
No, but I will add on Columbus first to score at -127 as well.
Okay, let's get that up here. Why don't you set up our next spot on the board?
Yeah.
Very fun game, Wild Lightning.
All right, Minnesota, Tampa Bay. Minnesota, not bad, but not great. They've lost 4 out of their last 6. The 2 wins were in OT, so they're not really getting it done right now. Tampa Bay back home after a 4-game trip, and they're suddenly improving a bit. They won 3 out of those 4 by margins. The last one though was an OT loss as a big favorite, but still nice little trip from Tampa Bay. Now they're a big favorite here, and this is a tough one. Tampa Bay laying a big line here, and Minnesota clearly not that good at the moment, and overvalued. I don't know if I'd want to lay Tampa Bay with that number. It was a nice trip though, very impressive trip.
TJ took the Wild against Dallas. It was a 3-2 Wild victory, and the reason why it ate at me for so long was because I had said that I was going to back the Wild in every situation they were plus money for the rest of the year. And it's worked. We've cashed at this exact number. So AM says Lightning money line -172, says happy lay the juice, smash the grab spot here. I'm on the Minnesota Wild at plus 145. This line's moving back to the Wild now. I like to see it. I was getting a little nervous there. Opened up at plus 153. Initially went towards the Wild, then it moved to plus 156. Now we're down to a plus 146. Which is nice to see. A couple of books I'm looking at plus 142s. I mean, some books have down to plus 134s, but they're not really reputable books. We have Gustafsson confirmed. Gustafsson going up against Vasilevsky. Anytime you get to go up against the Russian goalies, step up the most. But anytime you get to go up against the great Vasilevsky, you step up. I imagine Gustafsson will here. Special teams, you have the 6th-ranked Minnesota power play, 24.6%. 5th-ranked penalty kill. And this is Rod Zwacky's 10-star play of the day. It's Minnesota Wild money line. I love that. I love that. I'm right with them. Look, it's funny how we see situations so differently. And that's part of the fun of us all capping together. But I see this as, how could there be a worse situation for the Lightning? It's funny, and then AM sees it as smash and grab. So this is where we want to fade all teams. You're coming back from Calgary. They flew back yesterday. They play today. They don't have the day. You need that extra day. They don't have it. So they're coming back off of a 4-game trip, which they dominated until they lost in overtime at Calgary. And then you have a Minnesota Wild team here that the issue, of course, is they're kind of in no man's land, 5 points behind Dallas and 12 up of Utah. So they're in no man's land, but this is just the worst spot I can imagine. Always, it's just where I want to fade teams. The only thing that would make it slightly better is if Lightning had swept the trip, but it's just very, very difficult. And this is an important 3-game trip for the Wild just to be playing. See, against Florida, that game doesn't matter. Minnesota, unless they get beaten here 6-1. But against the Tampa Bay Lightning, it's important to see, where do you stand? We're getting towards the playoffs. Now you're going to go play against, this John Cooper-led juggernaut of a hockey team that seems to menace every single season. And this is their They're no Florida Panthers to deal with and their chance to go roll. Now they have a new foe, and that foe being the Buffalo Sabres. But this is a chance for them to see where they stack up against the top team in the Eastern Conference. I think they take this game seriously, and I like it very much. I like it very, very much. So there you go. No Big Scott. Only had one bet. It was the under, and my 10-point favorite on the first leg of back-to-back. And it lost. And I've got some ideas about it too, even though I'm betting it again today. But it lost, and then my live bet at halftime lost. And then, as Justin and TJ know, I bet it again, which I never do, and I cashed that by a half point, by a taint here. But that was my only bet. I've moved on 6 bets today, Big Scott. I can't wait to talk NBA. But here, look, I'm not as confident as Rod Zawacki, but I sure do like it.
What about the under? Why did Tampa Bay suddenly explode offensively on this road trip?
I think it was the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look who they played.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Just
played
shitty teams.
Yeah. So
and Minnesota, they're all right defensively, right, or what?
Well, you would think, studying Minnesota, that they'd be very, very good defensively, and that you would say that they have arguably the best defense in the NHL. They just haven't seemed to play at that level. I don't know if that's the forwards' fault or what.
And offensively, are they anything special?
Well, yeah, they are, but right now you have Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek day to day. They're all returning to the lineup. So Kaprizov missed the last 2 games. Yeah, any team with Quinn Hughes is special offensively. So is Eriksson Ek all good to go? Because
so you don't really like the under at 6.5?
Yeah, they're both good to go. No, I do like the under. I do like the under here. That is Juice Reel, Joseph Gomez, Juice Reel. And you can follow Spooner and other cappers on it at Juice Reel. Stimmy OG been talking about Juice Reel for a while, and I'm seeing the appeal of it. So, yes, I do like the under very much. I think the under makes sense. It's a scary one. I would maybe prefer the first period. These teams can score goals fast. They can score goals in bunches, and they can score goals if they need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. I like the under. I think that under makes sense.
I'll hold off.
Would you, because this would be one where I'd want to double down. I'm not going to, but this is one of those games where it could be 1-0, 0-0 after the first period, and then 3-2 going into the third.
Yeah.
I have some interest in your under. I think that makes sense. I think that correlates with the way I see the game going. I'm gonna put asterisks with question marks to go over it some more. So I'm on the Minnesota Wild, and you guys, you just know that I love fading a team that traveled a great distance. Calgary to Tampa is not a short trip, man. And they flew yesterday. They don't get the day. Any team that gets 2 days is not an automatic fade. If you fly in and then have to play immediately against the Wild, it's not easy. Not easy. Stan Lynch, I cannot wait to talk about it. It makes the total makes no sense. No sense. It's crazy. I can't wait to talk about it. So let's roll. I'm on Minnesota plus 145. Didn't get the best line, and I might be on the under 6.5. Peter, let's roll.
Yeah, I was thinking about Tampa team total under 3.5, 115, but I guess I'll hold off. They can get goals, can't they?
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's move on. All right. Next game, Washington, St. Louis, another one where I just no brainer hit the under. Might have been a mistake, but whatever. Got 6. Washington solid, playing competitively. They're off of a home OT loss to Colorado as a big dog. And St. Louis, they're fighting, they're winning. They're low-scoring games, and they're back home off a 3-game trip. They lost 2 of them, but they were close. So St. Louis, a nice, tight, tough team. And, again, just the way they play, I thought that the total was a little high. Didn't quite understand it. I did take a small shot.
I didn't understand the total. I mean, my God. When was the last? So it's been 6 straight unders for the Capitals. And then and I went over every line that they had to try to see, is there something I'm missing? What am I missing? Then for the Blues, they have played 5 straight unders. But the Blues have also played 11 unders in their last 12 games. So this is insane. Stan says the only reason I see this total at 6 is because last 3 meetings, the 7 of the last 10 have gone over. Oh, I think there's more than that. I mean, I think there's something that's not right here. And this one was so egregious. I thought, well, I'm going to have to bet the over. Because this doesn't make any sense. This is just ridiculous. I've not seen it all year. When was the last time all year you look at the 5-game profile from each team and they all 10 games go under. You look at one team that's played 6 straight unders and the other's played 11 of 12 unders. We see 5.5s at minus 110 and 115 and 120 in this. Steve G says he likes the over. So I think that this is one of those games, Peter, where I think to myself, you've been around long enough to understand that you have to bet the over in this hockey. Now, I could just not bet the under because none of it makes any sense. And I went through all of those games, what their totals were, and like, it's absolutely insane. We've got action here from Cappers in our chat, though. Philly Eagle Flyer also on the under in the draw. AM is on the Blues money line. Says home team rest advantage and better form. Easy cap here. Rodswag says bet on St. Louis on the money line, revenging a blowout loss. First opponent of 3 goals or more. St. Louis record since 2025, 21-5. Says bet on Jim Montgomery, revenging a blowout loss. First opponent of 3 goals or more. Montgomery's record as coach of St. Louis, 17-4. Toby Lane in the house says play of the day is the Sharks. Makes me nervous, Toby. I'm on the other side of you, but it was a fishy line. I'll give you that here. We're going into that game next, Toby. So, see, and TJ says just not betting the under is an amateur to semi-pro. I've done this for years and years and years. It's just taken me off of a side. He says betting the over is semi-pro to all-star. Look, come on. This makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. The books aren't giving out gifts. They don't care about you. I've just been baffled. Now look, this could easily play out the way every single other game has played of late that these two teams have played in. But why wouldn't this? We see the 5.5s at minus 120. We've seen them often. Why wouldn't this be a pick 'em even? Like, this is just insane. So I want to see where the line is when the show's over. But enough is enough. Like, I can't keep seeing these things that make in other. If this was basketball, I'd be fading. I'd be on the over. If this was, I'd trust. I'd be like, look, the market is setting everybody up. Lex says books make mistakes sometimes. And says others are trap lines. Look, and we won't know what this end up being. And then Truth Teller says books will stop at nothing to confuse people. So, there we go. Toby Lane, we had a great breakdown of that game. I don't want to rehash everything, but it was a very fun breakdown. I've tripled up on that game. Oh, wow. Spooner said just sent me the sharp mush for the Sharks game. Okay, nice. I look forward to reading it here. AM says, when 200 teams meet up, I've noticed those games tend to go over. I think it may be because both teams have an offensive focused game plan because they know both teams are good defensively. That's very interesting.
Is this a bad spot for St. Louis coming back from that 3-game trip for Vancouver or not really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a great spot for the Blues here. But again, in this, we talk about it so often. They had the day. They flew back on Sunday. Yeah. It's Tuesday. So unlike the Lightning, they're not playing, immediately. And it's the beginning of a 3-game homestand, Washington, San Jose, Toronto, that they should sweep. let me grab the line history. I'd like to see the line history here. Lex Steele says, "Can I get a belated birthday pick for today's parlay?" Absolutely, Lex. And we cashed our parlay last week, Peter. You and I cashed it, so we're 2 and 3. I don't have the spreadsheet up to date for our parlays, but I'll make sure that is there. So let's
I'm gonna take Washington team total under 3 minus 119.
You got it. So look at this. Look at Heritage, Peter. Heritage opens this up 5.5 minus 132 to the over, plus 116 to the under. Then there's a 14-cent move to the over. Then it becomes minus 118. So they move it to 6 plus 104. Now, even at 6, there's been a 5-cent move to the over. Look.
Wait, for what? For Washington and St. Louis?
Yes.
That's a current line right now?
Over 6 at minus 101. It moved 2 hours and 3 minutes ago from my.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, everyone else I'm seeing is still a 5.5.
So look, I have to just trust it here. I can't. I've got to follow through with these spots, and for better or for worse, I got to be on the over. Stan Lynch says, "Hofer confirmed, like my under 6." As you should, Stan. Look, I mean, why wouldn't it cash? 11 of the last 12 Blues games have gone under. 6 straight Capitals games have gone under. I get it. I completely understand.
Is Hofer's preferable to Binnington, like by a lot, right?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He is confirmed?
I believe he's confirmed. Shout out to our guy, Fat Wally, in the house. Wally, when are we going to see you, man? Are we going to see you at the horse track? You can come down to the bar. Let us know, Wally. Everybody asking me when we're going to see Wally. So, man, I'll reach out, though. I'll call you and message, stay in touch with you through message. But, yeah, I'm going to have to bet the over here. This line is insane and just doesn't make any sense. So, let's roll on to Sharks Predators.
Okay, Sharks Preds. San Jose lost 4 in a row, all by margins, and Nashville, they've now won 4 in a row. They're definitely fighting. They're in the playoff hunt. San Jose seems a bit banged up from what I've been reading and looking and seen. San Jose only 1 total goal in their last 2 games at home, but on the road trip before that, they scored at least 3 in each of the 5 games. So it seems like maybe San Jose has some issues of flaming out offensively at home, but then ramping it up offensively on the road. But Nashville definitely fighting, scrappy in the playoff hunt, winning. San Jose maybe banged up. What happened the last 2 games?
It's hard to win hockey games now.
Mm.
And this is a young hockey team, and they'll learn here how hard it is to win games down the stretch against teams that are fighting for playoff lives. They've lost 4 straight. They've lost 7 of 9. I need to see what Spoon has here for this one. I'm excited. So interesting. The Mush Report. This is great stuff. I can see why Spooner and others are liking Juice Reel so much. But the best bettors have 58% are on San Jose at Juice Reel, and 58% of the best bettors here, and then they don't have best bettors on. They have the worst bettors. For the worst bettors, at 100% of the worst bettors are on Nashville, which is interesting. So we'll see how that plays out. I care about recent form, and I care about how difficult it is to win on the road this time of year. So we also have Yaroslav Axe about me expected to be in. I'm not sure if he will be in, but he's expected to be in. He's not being as good as Needles, and he's losing his opportunity to be a starting goaltender in the National Hockey League. Both goalies, I think, are questionable, honestly. Saros has not been very good this season. Look, Nashville's a juggernaut right now. I was afraid to bet them against Chicago. I wasn't sure about the risk reward. When it went to overtime, I thought it was okay. There are clearly sharps on the Sharks. And so, and Toby Lane says, love those losers of 4 straight, winners of 4 straight, says bet on the dog. Look, if this wasn't March 24th, I would be in agreement. Oh, Needles is confirmed. Okay, thank you, Stan. I want to. That helps for Sharks backers. You don't want to ask about me in there right now. Look, I'm going to challenge some of these upstart teams to win on the road in crunch time down the stretch. And at first I had the Predators on the -1 line queued up, and then I ditched it and I just bet more on the money line. So I can understand. If this was game 40, I'd be right with you. That's true, Nasty Nate. I would be heavily in the soup. But again, if this was December, I'd be on the Sharks. I want the Sharks to prove to me that they can win on the road against playoff caliber hockey teams or teams fighting for the playoffs right now across the continent. So I'm going to bet against them. I'm on the Nashville Predators here. And TJ has hammered the Predators. So I'm on the Predators. I get it here. Why you guys are on the other side. Toby Lane says Nashville is slow as fuck. Says the Sharks are going to be a nightmare for them. Look, again, I don't need to rehash it, but there are certain teams I'm going to challenge. Ron Crawford says that the Sharks are 3-7 last 10 on the road versus Nashville. Stan Lynch is on Nashville money line. Prove it to me. Prove it to me. I will bet against you. Prove it to me. Proving it to me. So I'm on Nashville here. That's
all right. That's Nashville, a juggernaut. I would label them a nice little team. Nice little team there.
They're
Juggernaut.
playing at a very high level right now, and
yeah. All right. So you want to move on?
Yes.
All right, next, I'm going to pass on that one. Next game is New Jersey, Dallas. Interesting, New Jersey, off a loss, but in general, they've been winning. They lost a close one at Washington, but before that, they had won a whole bunch of games. And Dallas lost 2 in a row now, both as a solid favorite. Of course, in general, they're an excellent team, but maybe a little bit sluggish at the moment. Looking ahead to the playoffs, they clinched the playoff spot, and it's a grind, the NHL season. And maybe this is a little bit of an emotional, energetic down spot for Dallas, and they should be maybe faded or passed as a pretty big favorite, which they are here. I was thinking New Jersey, maybe team total over, something like that.
AM is on New Jersey as well. He says it's his favorite bet of the day. The Devils here, they did just beat Washington. They had beat New York. Those were their first 2 road games, of course, within an hour of where they are. But those were their first 2 road games since February. In fact, in the last now 2 months, they've played 5 road games. When was the last time they played a Western Conference team on the road? You got to go back to January. And first off, I can understand everybody thinking that the Stars are just going to, let go here. I don't agree. And I'm not alone on the spot. I am on the Stars -1. I will fade. Again, show me proof that the Devils are going to be able to beat teams on the road that are playing for their playoff lives. They just did against the Capitals. Capitals are what, 10 points? I know they're still trying to make the playoffs, but just prove it to me. You have a Stars team that's lost 2 straight games. I just want it to be proved to me. Toby Lane says, feel it's going to be one of those dog cashing days. So Toby Lane AM loving the Devils. Ron Crawford with me. The spreadsheet play of the day is the New Jersey Devils. Is the Dallas Stars on the -1 line. Whoa. Dallas Stars -1 for Ron Crawford. He's listening on headphones. You might want to turn it down a little bit. Here is our guy, Ronnie Crawford. Stars -1. Ron Crawford. So the Stars, have been playing more hockey of recent than the Devils. Devils haven't played since the 20th, so it's a nice break, and then they fly out here. This is the final game of a two-game homestand. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. You have Ottinger coming back in net off of a brief rest. They fly off for an important road trip, and they need to win this game. That's that's how I feel. I feel like they have to win this hockey game. Rodswag says Dallas is 11-2 in the 3rd game of 4 nights, and that includes 6-0 at home. This season here, is being set up for the Stars because of that 10-game winning streak. Now, do they want to go out on the road, losers of 3 straight and 4 or 5? I don't think so. So, look, I'm on the Dallas Stars -1. I got -103, -164 on the money line, plus 156 on the puck line. Now, if we go over here and see that, well, first I got the total up. So this total is a 5.5. It's -125 to the over. So it opened up -118 to the over. So it's gone 7 cents towards the over. And then on the money line here, we've got Dallas -163. So it opened up -172, went down to -160. It's come back a few cents. You don't talk friends off of dogs. Look, if you guys want to hammer dogs in these situations, I get it. But I'm going to fade these teams. I'm going to fade these teams on the road against playoff type opponents. Now you could say Stars don't need to win. I disagree. They do not want to go out on this road trip losers of 3 straight. So I'm on.
I feel like Dallas is they're obviously awesome when they're great, but they can easily slip into low character mode.
Look, I mean, you can't go out on the road trip losers of 3 straight and 4 or 5. You can't. You just can't. Like, you have to win here. You have to deliver here.
But if you're a low character team, you can.
Well, come on, they're 43, 16, and 11.
Yeah. Oh no, they're great. They're great in terms of talent. But I feel like they just are the kind of team that can slide back into. You were saying that earlier in the year, weren't you? Like you were saying, like they just didn't care or something like that, or what was it?
I have questioned the Stars at times over the last few years, but why Johnson's going to be the next captain of this hockey team. He's going to take over from Ben. They have veteran talent. Toby says, I feel like Dallas is not going to play for in this game. Look, I get it. But if I'm coaching this team, we are not going out on the road losers of 3 straight, back-to-back games at home against teams we're way ahead of. We're not. And I'm making it fucking clear. We do not go out on the road after another fucking loss. So,
all right. Well, I'm going to take the Devils team total over 2.5 -115.
All right. We got Loshak here on the Devils team total over 2.5 -115. We have Stan Lynch on the under. Let's roll on, Pete, to the next spot on the board.
All right, next spot on the board is Vegas, Winnipeg. Ooh, this is an interesting one, right? Vegas, I don't know. They're off a nice 3-2 dog win at Dallas, but again, Dallas might be a little bit have been in a little bit of a lethargic, low energy spot in that one. Before that win, though, Vegas had scored 1 goal total in 3 games, right? So they seem like a team that's not too good overall, in my estimation. Then you got Winnipeg back home from a 3-game trip. They won the last one. They seem solid, but not great. And Winnipeg opened as a dog. It was like plus 110. And I was definitely thinking Vegas team total under and leaning Winnipeg as a dog and maybe leaning another old under 5 to 6.
So I could be very wrong here with Vegas. I watch their games and I expect them to turn it on. I expect them to turn it on and down the stretch win the division. That it won't be Anaheim that wins the division. They're getting healthier. It's just Wild Bill Karlsson out right now. And they know that they've been struggling to score. They were hitting posts and it was just insane. When Theodore finally scored for them to break, they hadn't scored. And it was they were going to be shut up 3 straight games. It was a knuckler from the point, and I think they're going to turn it on. I wish that I had the balls like Turnsey. Turnsey had them against Dallas. Rodswag says wins as home. A pipe layer in the house. What up, pipe layer, my man? Oh, sorry about that. We'll get that graphic up here. Sorry. There we go. So this is not a great spot, obviously, for Vegas. It's their 3rd game in 4 nights, and it's been with constant travel. But I really expect them to turn it up. I expect them to sweep the homestand coming up. That's Edmonton, Washington, Vancouver, Calgary. Then they could go to Edmonton and beat them, beat Vancouver, beat Seattle. And legitimately be on a 7-game. Sorry, what would that be? That'd be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-game winning streak when they head into Colorado. And you guys would say, look, that's nuts. I don't agree with you at all. The Knights are not a good hockey team. My eye test tells me that Aiden Hill is playing better. The stats don't say that. I hope it's Aiden Hill and net, not Schmid. Then Hellebuck has an .897 save percentage. The Jets are playing out the string. They don't care. And the Knights care very, very much. I've been someone who loves to back the Jets. You have to give me a reason not to. It's cost me a lot of money this year. The Jets fly back from the Rangers yesterday and play immediately. So, yes, it's 3 games and 4 nights with travel for the Golden Knights. It's 3 games and 4 nights and travel with the Jets. And they had to travel from New York home to Winnipeg yesterday. I think the Knights take care of business. I think they take care of business here.
So you think that Vegas offensive issues were illusory?
It just happens. It's
Right.
part of an 82-game schedule. This is a very electric offensive team. Now, we haven't seen it very much. And when I'm trying to be ahead of the curve, really, I could be just believing in a team based on a vividness bias and have bias because I watch these games. I think it's Hill and Hellebuck confirmed. Thank you. And Lindgren confirmed for the Caps. So Stan Lynch said maybe that's what the odds makers thought already. With this all being said, look, I'm on Vegas. And I'm going to be betting Vegas night after night after night here, expecting them to turn it on, go on a big winning streak, win the division, and be a tough out. Now, every team in the Central will hope to play Vegas in the Western Conference Final. I mean, that would be great. And they'll beat Vegas. But I'm on Vegas here, minus 128, Pete.
Okay, so Hellebuck's not that good in your opinion.
Hellebuck's great. Hellebuck's a great goaltender. He's a 3-time Vezina Award winner. He's just having a down year. Can he step up? Sure. He's a great goaltender. We just saw him, he's the reason why the America won gold. He was phenomenal. So he's a great goalie. He's not having a good year, and I think Vegas beats Winnipeg comfortably here.
Okay. I mean, Winnipeg, I believe, is still mathematically in the playoff. They're not out yet. I mean, obviously, they're not going to make it, but.
Yeah, they are not out. Let's see. They are right now. Winnipeg is 5 points back of Nashville.
Yeah.
They have to jump over 3 teams ahead of them, which is tricky. But
yeah,
they're not out of it.
Oh, and you think Vegas has some offensive life to them, huh?
I could be very wrong here, but I think Vegas goes on a real run. I hope it starts here in Winnipeg. If it doesn't, I'm going to bet them to sweep that homestand. I think they go on a real run and win the division.
Yeah. All right. Okay. A real one. The real ones. All right, let's move on. You ready?
Yeah, Kings Flames.
Okay, LA Calgary. LA lost 3 in a row again for one of these teams. They can get you a win, but in general, pretty subpar, and they seem to me at least. And then Calgary, nice, won 3 in a row on their current homestand. 2 as a dog. For that, they were terrible, but give them a little bit of credit. 3 nice home wins now. Here they're a home dog again. And Calgary, they're out of it. They should be tanking, I guess, but not right now. They're winning at home, at least last 3 games. And I know they're also technically still in the play. I mean, they realistically have no chance, but I think they're still mathematically alive. And then you got LA, who is I don't know, nothing special. I was thinking definitely leaning Calgary as a dog once again, and maybe a lot more so. Calgary team total over.
I think I could get there. I just didn't quite understand the line. This one opened up with the Kings minus 140. They're now minus 145. I don't understand. It's a bad spot for the Kings on this road trip, and it's a phenomenal spot for the Flames. So people just believe that the Flames bubble is going to burst here. The line didn't make sense to me. I really thought this should be a smaller number. I expected it to be a smaller number.
The total going down. That surprised me. It was low to open. It was 5.5 minus 120 to the over is what I saw. It's like it's moved down a bit.
Yeah, it's been an impressive start to this homestand. It's a 6-game homestand. This is game 4. It's a really nice spot for them. They've won 3 straight. They feel good about coming to the rink. Cooley's out playing Wolf. Maybe that's the problem. Is Dustin Wolf being confirmed? That's the problem. Cooley's putting together an incredibly good season. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe Wolf is just losing his job. Maybe that is it. You also have DJ Smith still, so you still have a bit of the new coach bump. So, look, I want to bet the Flames. Why are they giving us this opportunity? The Flames are 19, 12, and 4 at home. They're a good home team. And then you have the Kings are 18, 9, and 9. They've lost 9 games in overtime or shootout. We do looking at the under. Philly Eagle Flyer on the draw. I would like to bet the Flames here. I just don't understand the price. Do you understand the price?
Well, I guess if you take away the last 3 games, I understand it.
Yeah. Johnny Redbeard in the house. What up, Johnny, my man? So, if Calgary was plus 110 in this hockey game, or plus 105 or something like that, I would be okay. I would think the Flames are going to take care of business again. The books have some concern, but the books just saying the Flames are not going to keep this winning streak going. I don't know. I would like to bet the Flames, but I'm hesitant here. The line doesn't make sense, and I'm maybe better off staying off. So,
how good is Darcy Kemper?
He's not good. 897 save percentage, 2.68 goals against average. He had a great year last year, which shocked me. This is the year I expected him to have.
Yeah. I don't know. Is LA some kind of defensive team that's going to come in on the road and just clamp down on? Calgary's not that great.
I think it's more Calgary's difficulty scoring. It's too bad Fiala's out. You have Fiala and Kuzmenko out, 2 snipers, but Kuzmenko's got real defensive responsibility.
So you think their decent scoring over their current 3-game homestand has been fluky a little bit?
They're excited to get to the rink. There's a lot of players that don't want to go to the rink anymore. Their team's out of it. No, they're young. Anybody with value that they don't want to keep that a part of their young nucleus, they shipped out. Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Stan says Flames plus 125 is not good enough for him. Wow. Because I would want it to be 110 or 105. So, Stan, what? See, because I don't think the Flames should be plus 125. That's the reason why I'm not on them. Stan says teams have been catching teams in bad spots on this 3-game streak. Well, here they're catching a 4th team in a bad spot. So wouldn't this become 4 straight? I mean, look at this has been a tough schedule for the Kings with their new coach DJ Smith. Very tough. So, we have this Kings team. They have their Eastern trip: Columbus, Boston, New York, New Jersey, New York again. They fly home on the 17th. They have Philadelphia, Buffalo. They fly to Utah. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights with travel. Rodswag says bet against Calgary on the money line on Tuesday nights. Look at that. Calgary's record 0-10 on Tuesdays. I'm going to spend more time on the game. I'd like to be on Calgary here. I'd like to be. Anything for you here, Peter? Do we roll on?
I don't know. I was thinking about Calgary team total over, but now I'm thinking about over. I mean, I know that neither of these teams is too scary offensively, are they?
No, they're both questionable offensively.
Yeah. All right. I guess I wanted to have something here. Right. I guess I'll hold off. Let's roll on to Oilers Mammoth.
All right, Edmonton, Utah. I pretty much haven't made many bets on Edmonton in the Edmonton games all year long, and I think there's another one. It's going to be a pass for me. Although free play in an Edmonton game, I'd almost always just throw it on a dog side. Edmonton continuing their ups and downs. Now 2 straight losses, both by margins. Utah kind of 50-50 right now. They're a small favorite here, or at least the first line I saw. Both angling for playoff positioning. Who knows here? I could see Edmonton winning by 5, losing by 5, OT. I could see a surprisingly low-scoring game. I could see it be a 6-5 game. Pass for me.
It's time to fade the Oilers every game they play. So that is what I am going to be doing now. McDavid, what he said about Cooper and the Lightning staff, there was nothing wrong with it. They're blowing it out of proportion. He wasn't, and it's a huge story. It's a huge story. It was on the radio. It's, driving the kids back from school this morning. It's everywhere. Like, everyone's talking about what McDavid said about how well coached the Lightning are, as if it was some sort of stab at Knobloch. They're just trying to make a story. But this team is a mess, an absolute mess right now. McDavid's under so much pressure. Draisaitl just had an interview saying that he's not sure if he'll be back for the start of the playoffs in a soccer game, German soccer game. He's not sure if he's going to be back for the playoffs. So I think he probably will be, but it scared all the Oiler fans. Utah should be backed here. This is a great number to fade the Oilers. Is Yari's going to be in net for this? Now, could Yari turn it on and step it up? And Nuke says the whole division is a mess, really. It's very fair. Very fair. And AM says Oilers to miss the playoffs, still at plus 310. I don't think they missed the playoffs. That's a very interesting angle, though. Let me just see. Well, but by the way, we have the Mammoth, though, here playing really good hockey. Wins of 3 of their last 4 games against very, very quality opponents. They are sharpening up for the playoffs. This is game 3 of a 4-game homestand, and I believe that they should be backed here. We'll have Vejmelka in net, and there's no reason not to. Let me just quickly go. I had the standings up, but I screwed it up somehow, so let me just pull it up here. Could the Oilers not make the playoffs? I feel like if they were ever in that situation that we'd want to probably bet them, but I guess they could not make the playoffs. Wow. I don't think the Kings or Kraken are capable of chasing them down, but maybe that's the issue here. How important it is for the Kings to win this hockey game to get a chance at the playoffs. Maybe that's the issue with the Flames-Kings line. But I'm on Utah. I think that they'll beat Edmonton comfortably here, and that. Oh, and Rod's Bike says Calgary in a few system plays. Kings are ass. Broad says bet against Utah on home games on the money line against good offensive teams. They go over 29 shots on goal, convert over 17% of their power play. Utah record since 2025 season 4-17. Stanley says Connor Ingram. Oh, back in Utah. That's an interesting. Oh, but he's not starting. Right? That would be a great angle, Stan. I would love that angle. That would change. Do we have Yari confirmed? I thought they said Yari was going to play. That's an angle I didn't consider because I thought they said that Yari was going to get more playing time. Yari was going to start here. So that is just. Oh, yeah. Why did they do it? It was just Stan Bowman. Yari confirmed. Okay. And Malek is on the Kings. Interesting. And I will look for that dog here. Look, I'm on Utah. Minus 131 I got, and I'm very comfortable with it. I think they take care of business easily. The pressure, McDavid could crack. He looks like he's about to crack now in interviews. It looks like he just can't handle it. He looks very unhappy. Ooh. Let's roll on to is there anything you want here in this one before we move on to the final game?
No, I'll tell you, I am going to tail that, but I don't like to add picks to my my official slate if it's not something I was thinking about beforehand, at least thinking about it. So, but cool. I think I'm going to tail that though. All right. Last game on the card is Anaheim, Vancouver. Anaheim, nice. Won 3 of their last 4. Last one was a high-scoring OT win as a home dog, a small home dog. And Vancouver, another one of these teams that can get your win here or there, but mostly they suck. Mostly they're bad. Anaheim still trying to make the playoffs. Vancouver out of the playoffs, just not scoring. So it's a high favorite line for Anaheim, of course. But at this time of year, these shitty teams like Vancouver, when they're at home getting a big dog line, a lot of times you'll see like a 3-2 win by the road team or 4-1 or something. But they also surprise. And where did Vancouver pull out this win? They had nothing to play for. They suck, getting a big dog line, and somehow they get a win. So I don't know if I'd want to take Anaheim here. Maybe lean under.
Yeah, and AM's backed the Canucks often. He's had confidence to back them often in, preferred, like, enviable situations. This is one of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking about game 7 of an 8-game homestand. The perfect time to back the Canucks. I'm fading them. I'm fading the Canucks every chance I get. I'm on the Ducks on the -1 line. This is such an important game for them. But but situationally, it's a great spot for the Canucks. So.
And I'll tell you, I have seen this in NHL. A lot of times there's like shitty teams. They got nothing to play for. They're at home fine. And they're getting a big dog line that just always scares the crap out of me to bet against.
Doesn't scare me for a second.
Okay. Unless you're getting it. But is Anaheim really an elite team?
Probably not. No.
Yeah, like if it's an elite team on the other side, then I take it. No problem.
But it's a team that has a chance to win their division.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? You can draw up any reason to. If you have been romanticizing any situation the Canucks are in, they've cost you a lot of money.
Sure.
And if you have the balls to back them here, it's the perfect situation for them. I'm fading them. I'm on Anaheim -1 at -113. They officially are out of the playoffs as of yesterday, so I cashed my future there for them to miss the playoffs at -135. This is just. It's such a trash organization. Aquilini is such a horrible owner. Just like he's the NHL's Jerry Jones, hands all in this. And I put a post out on X about it. And I don't need to rehash all those points, but basically you have an owner who's meddling with everything. He ran the most loved Canuck of all time. I mean, Stan Schmiel, Harold Sneps are right there. And of course, Pat Quinn as an executive, but Trevor Linden, he ran out. We're the only team in the entire National Hockey League that doesn't have a practice facility. Aquilini's billions can't get him a practice facility. And the best defenseman, who will be the best defenseman that this franchise will ever see in the history of their franchise, didn't want to sign a long-term contract because of the situation that Aquilini's created. Alvin and Rutherford are making terrible decision after terrible decision. They did get something out of Hughes, but this is just fucking trash. It sickens me being a fan of this team, having to be a fan of a team run by Aquilini. And he is, from Jim Benning now to Alvin and Rutherford. It just, I don't want to get into it, but it makes me very, very angry. And Ducks -175. Nope, no, says Rodzwacky. Nope, yeah, I took a -1, -113. Look, I've made a lot of mistakes this year, not fading the Canucks every opportunity I get. So we have Rod on the Knuckleheads. We have we have our guy AM on the Knuckleheads. So you're in great company, and the Canucks are in a perfect spot. So look, you don't talk friends off dogs, man. And so, but the Ducks with everything on the line. Look, this Vancouver team is such trash. -175, opened up -180, went down to -170, back to -175. Look, I'm gonna sit back and oh God, Stan, I just despise him. But there we go. I'm on the Ducks -1. Great cappers on the other side. So if you do like the dog, run with it. I'm going to do a review of my action, and then we'll hear a review of Peter's action. I'm on Boston -1 at -123. And I'm going to look again at the Habs. I'm very comfortable with my card right now. I've tripled up on the Senators Red Wings. First period under 1.5 plus 102. Full game under 6 at -105. And Detroit moneyline -118. Then, Reinhardt's out. Is Lundell going to be in? I need to know that. But I think I could just stay off all of these question marks here. Loshak's on the under 6 in Chicago Islanders. I'm off of that spot with the backups. I'm going to add the Jackets. I was just hoping that the line would move towards the Flyers. I kind of understand this Avalanche -1. I'm a little closer to that one here. I'm on the Wild plus 145. And I think that I'm going to move on the under 6.5. I think that makes sense. None yet, Malek. None yet. So maybe there won't be any. I have a couple more days. I'm close to a couple, but I've not moved on any. And I'll let everyone know if I do. Then I'm going to move on the over in Washington, St. Louis. But if the total remained that way just because it's not Logan Thompson. Sick from it all says Bruins in regulation. That's fine. I like the -1 bet. I like the push to be available for me in the shootout and overtime. That's just a fan type situation for me. And then I'm on the Predators -140. I'm on Dallas -1 at -103. Vegas -128. The Calgary LA Kings one I could just leave off. I'm on Utah -131, Anaheim -1 at -113. Peter, your action?
All right, I got a lot of leans, but the ones I made official: Boston -1, -120. Carolina team total over 3 -160. Man, that makes me nervous, but all right, I made it official. The Islanders Chicago game under 6 -110. I'm taking it. Columbus first period -125 and Columbus first to score -127. Washington team total under 3 -119 and New Jersey team total over 2.5 -115. And leans I was thinking about, definitely thinking about Colorado against Pittsburgh, -1 first period, something like that. Other leans that I got that I didn't pull the trigger on. Let me just I guess I got to be leaning Vancouver just because it's such a weird spot. Utah is not a lean because it's not my opinion, but I think you guys are all right about Utah, and I will probably tail that with a bet as well. Leaning Calgary team total over. Maybe that's wrong, but leaning that way. And leaning Vegas team total under, although Jimmy, watching the Vegas games, is seeing something that he might be first on the train for Vegas to start scoring a lot. So, yeah, I'm going to pass on that. And then also, of course, now the line has moved in St. Louis's favor and definitely leaning St. Louis now. Again, maybe I'll double up on that before the show's over. St. Louis money line -112, liking that one as well. And that's it as far as leans are concerned.
And AM says start playing money lines to the -1. Says I really think you've been leaving money on the table all season with it, even when your reads are correct. I've moved up to -140. You guys who take the -175 money lines out, I'm never going to. So it's never going to happen. Maybe if my unit size was $5,000, but at $300 a bet, I'm just, even at $500 a bet, even at $1,000 a bet. If we got up to 5,000 and the numbers, told me to move in that direction, I would.
Or if you want to be nasty, you can do it soccer style and give yourself a -3/4 line or -1/4 line, stuff like that.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But I hear what you guys are saying, and again, one of the fun things is, when the season's over, you look, you dissect. I'll take a look at all the -1s. I'll see what the money line would have done. But I'm comfortable here. Stan says, would you parlay those heavier faves? I have once this year, and it didn't work, and it should have worked. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't personally. And then we had Malek said, was there the dog line? Look, Minnesota Wild at +145 is my dog of the day, as you would call it. I think the best plus money spot on the entire table, though, is the first period under 1.5 in Detroit, Ottawa. And that's just a +102 or +100. All right, that is the National Hockey League for Tuesday, March 24th. Peter Loshak. And I'm very excited about our next guest. Well, we don't have... Oh, okay, we don't have... Okay, there we go. We don't have guests often here on Loshak in the Bag. And our show is changing on April, starting in April. Our show is changing, and we've got a lot to discuss when we're down in Costa Rica. I was going to say down in San Antonio about the show, but we're not going to have a lot of guests on our Loshak in the Bag. But the opportunity to have our next guest talk NIT basketball, also to see him on camera one more time before I finally get to meet him in person. I finally get to meet him in person tomorrow. I finally get to meet TJ in person tomorrow. There are cappers that I'm going to meet this week, and it all starts tomorrow. Please welcome the star of Walk-Off Wagers here on Pub Sports Radio. We got our first Walk-Off Wagers on Sunday, and the star of the Sauce Network, our guy Morgan Spooner, 24 hours away from meeting you in person. My man, how are you?
I'm so excited to get down there and meet everybody. It's going to be a pleasure to meet both of you in person.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward to it. TJ, so many of you guys in the chat, Nasty, Nate, Wine Time. It's going to be a blast. Did we get confirmation on Stacks? Is he on a road trip yet?
We don't have confirmation. And at round, when it's this close, I don't like to put pressure on our friends. So I know they're trying everything they can to come.
I've always found peer pressure is the most effective way.
No, I hear that. But no, we have not heard. I know I did go over Justin's trip last night, though, because I was thinking, obviously I'm thinking about these guys and I'm reaching out to all of them, and I went over the trip, the exact travel, if it's straight to, and then the idea of going up to Cleveland, it does take them out of it straight down. It looks like the drive of a lifetime. But Spooner, my friend, let's get into college basketball. It is great to have you here. We have 2 more NIT quarterfinal games. NIT's been very good to me. Well, it started out very good, and then I managed to screw it up somehow. I was with you on Seattle, but I screwed up by taking Seattle in the first half. I think it's a smash and grab for Dayton to keep rolling, but that's not today. I've made one bet here on today's NIT card, and Spooner is on the same spot. And of course, if you roll with Spooner, if you follow Spooner, you're going to get a better line. He has a better line than I have, but I've not moved on this spot here. Let's discuss it. We have Wichita State, Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Wichita State seemed to get better as the season went on. They've also been winning games on the road. This is a team that there's not a lot of losses here on this Wichita State program, man. They're just winning and winning and winning. They did lose to South Florida, which that when they lost in the conference final, that snapped a 7-game winning streak. And on the road to that 7-game winning streak in the semifinal of the ACC, they took out the American. Sorry, ACC, the American. They took out Tulsa. They beat Tulsa 81-68 in the American Conference semis. Wichita State opened up as 2.5-point dogs, closed as 1.5-point dogs. We're in control all game long. We're up 6 at the half and won by 13. So we haven't had a lot of that in the NIT so far, where there's Rebenga and there's fresh Rebenga here for them. What we've seen from them in the NIT, they took out Wyoming. It was not easy. That win at Oklahoma State was absolutely spectacular. Oklahoma State clearly just didn't care and didn't want to be there. On the other hand, here for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, this is probably set up perfectly for them to slap back. They've looked great through 2 games so far. They didn't look great against SF Austin. I didn't know how much Tulsa cared. Then they looked great against UNLV. That cost me money. I was on UNLV, and looking back, that was a mistake. Let's get into the line history. We're going to hand it over to Peter Loshak first, who is then going to send it over to Morgan Spooner. Tulsa opened up as 4.5-point favorites. They're now 3.5-point favorites. I'd be very hesitant to get in the way of that. From a total standpoint here, we have a 152.5. This one opened up at 151. It got up to 154. It just an hour ago moved back down to 152.5. That's a big move back, buyback towards the under. And then let's get the line, the cash flow here, Peter, for Wichita State, Tulsa. We have no information at this point. No information from Oz Logic. So, Peter, what are your thoughts? And then send it over to Mr. Spooner.
My first thought was at 4.5, definitely liking Wichita State. And I'm not just saying that now because the line has moved. In the next game, I'll tell you what I was thinking where the line moved against me. So thankfully for that, you'll know I'm not bullshitting here. But, at this point in the NIT, you have every tournament's like this, teams that are like fully motivated, good character. So it's very hard to, and the lines are very accurate. So a lot of times late in tournaments, it gets a little harder to identify value. But lean at 4.5, I was thinking gotta lean Wichita State.
What do you think, Spoons?
So I was looking at this line last night. There were some 4.5s. It was sitting at 3.5 on all the sharp books. I was kind of hoping we'd see a 3. The big one in this game for me is David Green. He's the leading scorer of Tulsa throughout the course of this season, and he's a 6-year senior. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury, missed the Stephen F. Austin game and the UNLV game. So if we look at these matchups before, Tulsa was favored like 6.5 opening at home the first time. So this number's dropped 3 points, and part of that's Wichita State playing better basketball than they were at that point in the season, but part of that is David Green not being in there. With the 3, I think I would be able to move on Tulsa, and that's where I had it circled. But right here, I just think it's pretty efficient. I don't really want to get involved. I think there's a good chance David Green plays. He was a game time decision on that Sunday game. He's dealing with a shoulder thing. I don't know the exact diagnosis. They haven't released anything, but he had a wrap and pack on his shoulder when the injury first happened. 6-year senior, so this could be his last basketball game. So I imagine he's going to want to get out there.
Wow, that's such a big point here. I want to see if I can get any.
So I saw one thing from Veasan that said he was unlikely to play I didn't see anything official from any real sources.
Yeah, he hasn't been in full contact practice. That is tough. And then that is very, very tough. Very, very tough. We have Will Rondo on the Shockers. Peter, is there anything you want to add before we move on to St. Joseph's Hawks, New Mexico Lobos?
No.
All right, let's roll on. We have a new mic for our guy, Morgan Spooner. Deep, sultry sounds from Morgan Spooner with that new mic. Sounds good, man. I need to get one. You inspired me. Let's talk about the next spot on the board here. First off, let's talk about the line moves because they've been massive. This total's gone up 7 points, Morgan. 148.5 to 155.5 over at BOL, which I've only done once in the college basketball season. In the NBA, I fade those moves once it's 7 points. I believe that the models can't be that far off. And it worked the one time I did it. I've only done it once, though, in college basketball. I'll do it often in NBA. From a side perspective here, St. Joseph's at BetOnline opened up at plus 11, went down to 10.5, then came back to 11. This is all this morning. Now we're back at a 10.5. It is juiced to New Mexico at the 10.5. We get to the cash flow here. We get no information, but I can tell you that Circa's hanging at 11. They're also hanging at 154.5. It's only moved 2 points up for them. So Nuke Worker says, didn't this game open up at a 7? Now, I'm just using these offshore books, but Spooner can touch on that. Let's set up the game here. I moved on St. Joe's. The victory over Cal was beyond my comprehension. I thought Cal was going to win this whole thing. And during that game, I was beating myself up for not trusting that and not being on Cal. And then here we go. St. Joe's has the comeback, this legendary comeback. I could have easily just let this go. You know, it's not easy. I mean, we're traveling now from Berkeley down to the pit in Albuquerque. The Lobos have proven with these victories over Sam Houston and George Washington that they're not messing around. They beat Sam Houston by 24. They beat George Washington by 25. Colorado State and Cal were two teams that I fell for late in the year. And for St. Joseph's to go to Colorado State and then go to Cal, one thing you could say, you're asking for too much. Or you could say, look, I believe in the magic of St. Joseph's. And with Spooner, we talked about St. Joseph's comeuppance over the last few weeks, last month, last 6 weeks of their conference schedule. So I, too, moved on St. Joseph's. Now, we have our guy, Justin McKelvey, with the plus 11.5. I don't have the plus 11.5, unfortunately. When I moved on St. Joseph's, I believe I got a flat 11. Let me just double check here. I got flat 11 at minus 112. Peter, set a table here for Mr. Morgan Spooner.
Yeah, both teams very impressive. Classic late tournament game here where, it's scary to bet against either one. But, New Mexico, obviously a super high scoring team. They can be slowed down, though. And St. Joseph's also can do that to teams. So we're going to go with first half under 73.5. I know the total's gotten bet higher. Certainly understand why. It wasn't a very high total to open with considering New Mexico's involved. And so I'm not surprised the total's gotten bet up. And we're going to go with first half under 73.5 minus 110. Could easily lose, but I think it's probably decent enough chance that there's a little bit of value there. First half under 73.5 minus 110. Official play.
I am interested. I don't know if I'd be able to double up on it with the move to the over, but that certainly is interesting. Spooner, take it away, my man. The second quarterfinals of the NIT.
Yeah, I thought this number was too big there at open. I have the 11.5 minus 109 here. I think this is a really good St. Joseph's team. You can compare them to two of the teams in their own conference that New Mexico's already played this season. That George Washington game just closed 6.5. The last time St. Joe's and George Washington played, the game was basically a pick'em. So maybe you can say George Washington should have been 2-point favorites, and you can move the line up to like 8.5 from there. I don't see how you get all the way up to 11.5 though. And also, New Mexico played VCU this year. Yes, they went on there the road and won, but I mean, they were, I believe, 8.5-point dogs in that game. And if we look at what St. Joseph's have done on the road, because that's the big factor in this game, is New Mexico's playing at home. They have one of the better home court environments in their conference. And St. Joseph's really battle tested. They went on the road, played Virginia Tech, Penn, UNLV, road games at Syracuse, St. Louis, VCU. And these guys weren't getting blown out. And towards the end of the season, they started playing much better basketball. I think this number is too big. I think you can play it till 9.5. I think at that point, all the value is gone. But I really like St. Joe's.
So do I. St. Joe's ranked 106th according to Ken Palm. New Mexico 46th. I mean, if this was the NIT finals and it was Cal versus New Mexico, Spooner, who would you be on?
New Mexico.
You would?
Well, are we playing it at home for New Mexico? Because that game, I don't know how the rankings would go there.
Yeah, I don't know how the rankings would go. Let's just call it neutral right now.
I wouldn't easily say New Mexico in that situation. I have to spend more time. Might lean Cal there, but New Mexico does have a pretty good home court advantage that, I mean, is going to buy you a couple big possessions back and forth in a tight game. And that's why I'm saying 9.5 is where it ends. Like, I think St. Joe's can play back and forth basketball with them. I don't think they can win this game, though.
Another thing with this side was that the first half, and of course, after the comeback yesterday, but why would I want the full game when I know that St. Joseph's is just not scared? They're not scared. You can go up 10 points. They know that they're capable of coming back if they play strong basketball. The only concern is, are we asking for too much? Are we asking for too much is the only other concern. We have Loshak on the first half under 73.5. I'm interested in this full game under with the 7-point move over at Bet Online. Loshak on the first half under 73.5. We have Spooner on the plus 11.5 and minus 109 on these Hawks. Spooner, so we don't need the game up anymore here, Jose, but Spooner, is there anything that you want to touch on here before we get an NBA on March Madness, Sweet 16, Elite 8? We're going to be live for I apologize. We have a little bit of time because we only have 4 games in the NBA, and I can't wait to talk about them. But we have a little bit of time here, and we should have set you up and let you know that we might do this. But is there any team you're very excited about? Is there any team you can't wait to fade? What's on the top of your mind when we get into Sweet 16, Elite 8? All these games are going to be watching together.
So Iowa State dealing with a really big injury, I feel like is something that everybody just wants to fade. I don't know if that's necessarily that smart. I think Michigan's the best team in the tournament. I still think they win it. I have tickets on Iowa State minus 3.5, Connecticut money line at plus 100. I have 2 units on St. John's between 6.5 and 7. I have a 3 with Illinois, an 8.5 with Arkansas, a minus 1.5 with Nebraska. So I've moved on some of those games already. That's probably where I'll sit with action for the first round. I think the value is probably going to start to be in these big spreads. So we saw a pretty big, large gap in competition there in the first couple of rounds. But since everything kind of went chalk, we're left with teams that are really going to match up really well against each other. Alabama continues to be a dark horse. I have Illinois winning a bracket or 2. That is a team that I think the offense is just, you have to be able to beat a Big 12 defense. We saw it with St. John's. They went up by 15 points, and that Big 12 defense came all the way back. Kansas doesn't have the best one either. So I think there's going to be some issues trying to get there, but I think Illinois is another team that could win it all outright. Shout out Saturated in the chat.
Now, Saturated had some concern before the tournament started, but that are these European stars capable of stepping up in the most important situations, and he there's no proof of concept yet.
So
really.
The worst case scenario for facing Houston is to face Houston in a gym where they definitely have their Big 12 refs, and they're playing in Houston for this game. So this is going to be a nightmare matchup for Illinois. This might be the hardest game of the tournament if they went on to win the whole thing.
And Kong says, Nebraska in a revenge spot. I love it already. Bet it myself. Peter, is there anything you want to touch on from Spooner's thoughts here with his action coming into Sweet 16 Elite 8 when we'll be watching these games together down in
No, I
Southtown.
agree with Michigan, and that's not because I listened to Spooner or watched any. I'm not copying Spooner. That's what I thought to begin with. So yeah, Michigan, I think was the best bet to win it all. Yeah, no, that's about it.
Well, Spooner, I cannot believe in 24 hours we'll be sitting beside each other. Spooner will be starring in our show tomorrow, Betting with the Bag, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. in San Antone. And, man, I cannot wait, man. I'm going to pop Spoon's X handle here in the chat. Also, Spooner on Juice Reels. Drewski just following him now on Juice Reels. Support our guy, Morgan Spooner, man. And good God.
On that,
I'm
there's a
so
friend
pumped up.
link on my X. You can go. It's on my most recent post in the comments. You can add me for free. It gives you access to all my action, what I've been on, what I'll be on, and it syncs it like as soon as I put the bet in with the books. There we go.
Let me ask one more thing here. I want Houston, and I'd be on them right now if you weren't on the other side. And I know we talk, like, we'll talk about this, and if I have the conviction, I know that you'll want me to go forward and press the button. I know you always support that. Was it very easy for you to fade Houston? I mean,
It was one of the first bets. I thought this line should have been like closer to a pick'em than what it was. Houston is a very good team, but like if we look up the makeup of this team, like this team revolves solely around Kingston Flemings, and he's a great freshman guard, but freshman guards sometimes in March, that's when they start to struggle when the lights are brightest. You still have Emmanuel Sharp out there, but this isn't a signature Houston team. Like it doesn't line up well with having this venue. I would have thought Calvin Simpson would have had something a little better set up here, but it all rides on Kingston Flemings. How much confidence do you have in him? If you think he can make all the big bucket shots, then I guess you can ride with them. But Illinois' defense has been battle tested all season. It's not something they necessarily lay their hat on, but I mean, overtime losses to Michigan State, Wisconsin, UCLA don't look great on paper, but those are all really tough games. And those are games they didn't play with Kylan Boswell. So now you have Wagler, who's dominated all season. You have Boswell back. Just the list of these foreign guys that I'll just butcher their names. I think this is a team set up to make a really deep run. Like I said, this is probably the biggest test. So if you have the conviction, don't let me stand in your way. Obviously, this line, you can already get a 3.5. I have a 3 in this game. So the line movement doesn't agree with me either, but I think Illinois wins this outright.
Wow. That's and then we get to live bet all together, man. Oh, fuck, it's gonna be fun. Spooner, thank you for rocking with us. I popped your channel here in the chat. Hit that link, and then you can go with the friends link for Juice Reels for Spooner. Also, you can catch him starring on the Sauce Network nightly, and we have baseball coming up this very weekend. Spooner, thank you for all your hard work, your angles, everything that you bring to the table, man. It means a ton, and in 24 hours, can do that in person finally, man. So love to you, my man. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
No, it's great to get on screen with you and Loshak for a minute. Look forward to breaking bread with you guys here shortly. Anybody that in the chat that's close, get your butt over to San Antonio. It's going to be a good time. Have a good one, guys.
Be well, my man. God, can you believe 4 more games I cap here, and then it's fucking Texas, baby. Good God, do I need it? I need it so badly. I was trying to think, Peter, what could go wrong? And it's the brown liquor. I could do something stupid. So I got to keep that in mind. I could ruin the greatest opportunity of joy that I could have by doing something stupid. So I've been telling myself that.
Yeah.
Now there's not a heaviness. The heaviness meaning like we're not, when we had our first Pubapalooza after Tease died, there was some heaviness there. That's usually when the brown liquor gets me. It's when there's heaviness, and I'm not emoting it all. I'm not like letting go of the sad or whatever and then the booze gets in me, and then something goes wrong, and I say the wrong thing and do the wrong, and flip out on the wrong person, and just become dark and angry. That's not here. There's no heaviness here at this point. Now, obviously, I could change, but I should be smooth sailing, right? Yeah, get that in you, Pete.
Should be smooth sailing, baby.
It should be smooth sailing, but that's the only thing I think that could get in the way is this. His action was well, you heard all of his action in Sweet 16 Elite 8. I didn't write all that down, but that's on his X here, and he'll be breaking those games with us live down in Southtown. But tonight he is on the Hawks plus 11.5 at -109. Plus 11.5 at -109. All right, Pete, I cannot wait for these 4 games in NBA, and I can't wait till they're over because that means we're going to Texas. So let's roll. God, it's nice to see Mr. Jose Bouquet as well. God, I'm so excited. Slaughter and Jose picking all of us up at the airport. Let's stay focused here. Let's roll NBA, and I love this 4-game card. I've made 6 bets on it. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. I was just practicing my smooth sailing chug. All right, here we go. Sacramento, Charlotte. Man, I don't know, man. Charlotte rolling. They were overvalued on the road, but now 3 straight nice, awesome home scoring covers. Sacramento lost 3 in a row, ATS. Last one was closer, though. Before that, they had covered in a row. And now you've got, of course, a huge spread. Charlotte -17 was the first one I saw. What I didn't understand was the total at just 230, because in light of what Charlotte has been doing at home in Sacramento, no problem getting, way over, high totals recently as well. I thought it was surprisingly, shockingly low that the total was 230. So I was definitely leaning under, and let me see where it has moved, if anything. And yeah, now it's up a little bit. Yeah, up to like 231.5. I don't know about that 17-point spread, but that's a low total just in light of how things have gone recently.
Yeah, I stayed off of the total here.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, sorry, and this is crucial, and my apologies. Spreadsheet play of the day in college basketball is Tulsa -4. It is Tulsa -4, spreadsheet play of the day from our guy, Ronnie Crawford. And we'll talk about spreadsheet play of the day in NBA here shortly. So this is a bad spot for the Kings. And they have Achua out, Neat Clifford out, Murray and Hayes out, Westbrook out. Connaughton questionable, Sawan out for the Hornets, and Knipple questionable, expected to play here. Chappie Funk says Hornets pace is slow. Only think Chappie Funk. You're going to meet Chappie Funk here in San Antonio in a second, Peter, my man. So let's set this one up a little more here, just with how these teams have been playing post All-Star break. We have the Kings 19-53, 6-28 on the road. Hornets 37-34, 17-17 at home. Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. One of the, and then I know we don't need to do a deep dive for a 17.5-point game, but an important part here is what's going on with the play-in. And look, I'm not sitting here counting cash on a 30-1 Hornets to win the East, which if I had to wait, I could have got a better line. It went down and then it came back up. I'm not sure what it is right now, but right now the Hornets are 2.5 games out of not playing in the play, but they're in 10th. So they're a half game back of the Heat. They are 1 game back of the Magic. They're a game and a half back of the Sixers. And then the Hawks have taken that 6th spot. Can the Raptors fall out of it? Magic have lost 5 straight. Heat have lost 5 straight. Now, there was a lot of talk for the Hornets of being locked in for this basketball game. A lot of taking this seriously and doing the job in this one. The Kings 7-9 post All-Star break, playing much better. 10th fastest pace, 101.88 possessions a game. Shooting the ball 47.8 from the field, but poorly from 3 at 32.9%. Poorly compared to everybody, especially the Hornets. Post All-Star break, Hornets have been shooting 40.5% from 3, 46.1 from the field. And as Chappie talking about, they're playing at a slow pace. 96.47 possessions game, that's 28. They're 11-5 post All-Star break. Sacramento snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 126-122 win at home over Brooklyn on Sunday. That line history, as Pete mentioned, we have this one opened up at 17.5 and it moved towards the Kings at first, down to 16.5. We're back at a 17.5. And from a total standpoint here, we have this 231 at BetOnline. This one was down. This one had gone down to 228.5 before it climbed up 231. So Sacramento snapped that 2-game losing streak, as I said, with that win at home over Brooklyn on Sunday. So now they fly to Charlotte yesterday and play today. And Malik Monk went for 32, a season high 32, and he's of course a former Hornet. This is game 1 of 5-game trip. So Neat Clifford, hurt himself on Sunday, and he's been playing pretty well. So he's got the left ankle injury. He's out. Charlotte comes in off a third straight win, 5th in 6 games, 124-101 at home over Memphis. This is game 4 of a 7-game homestand. So they're 3-0 to get this started. 124-101. Their third straight win by at least 19 points. LaMelo played. So again, and another thing that helps is they just played in Sacramento, and it was a very close game. It ended up being an 8-point win for Charlotte. But, LaMelo went for 30, had to score 30. So they just played a tight game against this team, so they're going to be accountable. All week long, the coach is saying, we destroy these teams. We put our foot on the gas, we put our foot on their throat, and we don't let go. We step down. So I am on the Charlotte Hornets -17. I think that, will this be a sweat at the end when they're up 23 with 3 minutes left and they don't care, and then the Kings hit a couple buckets? Yeah. But I am on the Charlotte Hornets here. -17. I got the -17, -112. And I think it's another 19-plus point victory. So that's my action here, Pete. Any thoughts, or do you want to move on to Pelicans?
No, I mean, I agree with you. I just it's a little scary, so I'm gonna hold off. But yeah, definitely that'd be what I would do if I had a free play, no question about it.
I've been so afraid of these huge numbers all my life, and it's they've been the ones I don't bet, like always, but they cash. But my ROI on them is very strong. Anything 15 up, -15 up has been strong. So, but it's very small sample size. Well, maybe I should open it up a little bit. Drewski says Hornets smash. I hope they do. Res Mob says Hornets probably covered, but backdoor's wide open. Oh yeah, pause. And says I just bet OKC similar number, but can't bet this one. So yes, I am on the Hornets -17. Let's roll on, Pete.
All right, next game on the card is the Pelicans and the Knicks. Pels finally lost ATS, finally, but only by a half point after 8 straight covers. And before that, they were pretty good ATS as well. Also been trending under, 6 straight unders, although before that they were going over. And the Knicks, 6 in a row straight up wins, but only 3-3 ATS in those. And of course, they're off a huge high-scoring blowout win over Washington. They put up 140 or whatever. And Knicks a big favorite here. Total is 232. First line I saw. Haven't seen where it has moved, but I was thinking after that win would be leaning under and maybe leaning Knicks team total under, although the Knicks, could score. But then it makes me feel better about that Dutch boy Fresh likes the Pelicans here getting all those points. So yeah, I was thinking maybe a shot with the under and maybe a shot with the Knicks team total under.
Well, you just mentioned Dutch, and we also have stacks here as well. But you just mentioned Dutch. Dutch Boy Fresh gave us the Pelicanos +8.5. Shout out to our guy Dutchy. Be rolling with us on Saturday down at Southtown 101. And we have stacks play of the day number 1 here, and number 2 is in the next game. So we got back-to-back stacks. Zion Williamson, 21 or more, over 20.5 points at -105. He got that at Fanatics. Shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Drewski says Knicks smash. Drewski says if you like Pels, might as well take the money line. Look, my balls are of the smaller side of things. But Madison Square Garden, New York, where the Knicks are 26-9 and playing phenomenal basketball right now. The Pelicans are 9-25 on the road, but they're playing their best basketball of the year. They're 10-6 post All-Star break. We'll discuss exactly why that is. 13 fastest pace, 101.22 possessions a game. Shooting the ball nice, 48 from the field, 35.2 from 3. Almost the same as the Knicks, who are 12-5 post All-Star break. 26th fastest pace, 97.59 possessions a game. Shooting 48.6 from the field and 35.9 from 3. I have doubled up on this basketball game. Pete's lean towards the under. It's just, oh no, it's bounced back. Wow, okay. It was moving quickly to the under, but it's bounced back. This got down to a 229.5 30 minutes ago, but we're back at 230. So it's a 1.5 move towards the under in this one. From a point spread standpoint here, the Pelicans are a +9 They're a +9. That makes me uncomfortable. I like Dutch. I'm on the 8.5, but I took it further. Von Polo on the Pelicans here. The Pelicans come in off having their 3-game winning streak snapped on 111-106 loss at home to the Cavaliers on Saturday. We talk about this so much in NBA and NHL. Saturday. So they flew out east on Sunday. And yesterday they had a rest day. That's crucial. So important. So important for me, backing teams. They're 15-11 since Herb Jones returned from an ankle injury. Let's take a quick look at their who is in and who's out. No surprises here. Shamet and Deuce out. McGowan's out for the Pelicans. So 2 games where there's really no concerns injury-wise. Rez Mob just bet the Hornets first half, and Justin has the +9 in his pocket. So they're 15-11 since Herb Jones returned from the ankle injury. They're 9-5 since DeJounte Murray came back from the Achilles surgery. Speaking of DeJounte first, well, let's just speak about him. 18.7 points, 6.2 assists, 5.1 rebounds in 10 games since returning. He's shooting 52.7 from the floor, 34 from 3, and 84.2 from the line. This is game 1 of a 3-game trip. So this is why I had to move on the Pelicans. Okay, this is why I had to. So I have the Pelicans first half and full game, +5 and +8.5. This is, you could say, the biggest game of the year for the Pelicans. They're playing their best basketball this season, and now here they are in Madison Square Garden. They have no chance for a playoff or any play-in or any shit like that. Now they have DeJounte Murray back, Herb Jones back. They're playing their best basketball season. Now they get to show the world Madison Square Garden. Do you think the Knicks are feeling that way? Do you think the Knicks are all riled up to play the Pelicans? The Knicks coming off their 6th straight win, 145-113 at home over the Wizards on Sunday. They put up 77 in the second half. Now, Justin, we know how Justin cooks, man. Justin wants to fade teams after 30-point wins, and I agree with that angle implicitly. This is the final game of a mini 2-game homestand. The Knicks hit the road tomorrow. I just think this is about motivation. The Knicks just destroyed the Wizards. They don't care that Pelicans are coming to town. And I put my money where my mouth is. I doubled down. I'm on the Pelicans first half and full game. Lines moved a half point away from me. That makes me uncomfortable. Let's just take a quick look at the cash flow for this one. We didn't touch on the cash flow for the last one. We should probably do both here quickly, but I doubled down. I'm on the Pelicans first half +5. I'm on them full game +8.5. We have 6. Now, this was very public when I bet it. It's not as public, but it's still public with the line moving to a 9 at Circa. But don't forget, Circa opened this up at 9.5. Circa had moved this from 9.5 to 8.5. So it's back at a 9. But we have 64% of the tickets and 88% of the cash on New Orleans. When I bet this, and I doubled down, this is something I never do. It was 81 and 88 on the Pelicans. 55% of tickets on the under, 91% of cash on the under. In that first game, 65% of the tickets, 87% of cash is on Charlotte, and 18 now at Circa. 18 at Superbook, which is great to see. Look, it's not comfortable when you make a move on a team and then you are on the show and it's moved a half point against you. But this is where I want to fade the Knicks. They feel great about themselves. They hit the road tomorrow. They don't care about the opposition. Where Pelicanos, playing the best basketball of the season, get to play Madison Square Garden. They got nothing to play for. So this means something to them, I think. And I could be wrong. I doubled down, though. Put my money where my mouth is. Peter, I'm on the Pelicans first half full game. Anything else you want to touch on here? Do we roll on the Magic?
Well, I'll make 2 plays. I will take the Knicks team total under 119.5 minus 108. Rather be having 120.5, but I'll take 119.5 minus 108. And I do this sometimes, Jim. If the first half goes to 119 or higher, I'll take the second half. I'll take the under, second half under, and I'll post whatever that is in the Discord. Cool. If it's 118 or less for the first half, then no bet.
I love it. I love it. Markel, am I wrong, or did they play them at home? Are my notes wrong? Sorry, let me just make sure that my notes aren't wrong. Here, Knicks schedule. Sorry, next quick. Sorry, just take 1 second, Peter. I just want to Last thing I want to do is be giving up fucking. And yeah, at Charlotte. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a game. It's an important game. And not only do they play Charlotte on Thursday, they play the Thunder on Sunday, the Rockets on Tuesday. Not that they're looking ahead that far, but no, I'm right here. Dutch Boy Fresh says Pelicans after a meltdown in the fourth versus Cavs at home. Talented, pissed off team in the Garden. Let's go. It's the Garden for me, Dutch. It's the Mecca. It means something to the Pelicans. So, especially Knicks on 6-game win streak. I really like the spot. I'd love it if we were looking at an 8 right now or 7.5, but it is what it is. Let's roll on, Peter. Peter on the Knicks team total under 119.5 minus 108. I got the +5 first half and the +8.5 full game. Obviously, now I wish I could have had to wait a little bit. I got the +5 minus 110. I got the +8.5 minus 106. Pete, let's roll on.
All right, Orlando, Cleveland. Orlando is on a back-to-back. They lost straight up yesterday as a double-digit home fave, and they've now lost 5 in a row straight up, although they did cover 2 of those. And Cavs back home off a 3-game trip, right? They have been good, pretty good straight up over the past few weeks or so, but not ATS. They're about 30%, 33% over the past 15 games or so. They're pretty solidly in the 4 seed, I think, for the playoffs. And so this was kind of no-brainer-ish. Why would we not like Orlando first half here? But the line has moved in Cleveland's favor about a point, which is, I guess, a little bit surprising. I don't know. Total has moved up a couple points. I was thinking Orlando first half.
So was I. It was my first thing I thought on the card. Well, because I watched them. I want to just touch on the double-digit favorite first half of a back-to-back, betting the under. We all know what that perfect situation is, and it's the double-digit favorite being up 20 or 25 points. That's when it's just perfect. So live betting it, if the double-digit favorite is losing, it might not require a live bet at halftime if it's soaring over. In saying that, then the double-digit favorite could lock the underdog down defensively. So again, I'm just sort of ruminating and still working on all of that because I lost the pregame bet. It's only the second time all year I've lost the pregame bet and the halftime bet. Second time all year. But then I doubled down on the 154 or 254.5 and won it by a half point. And I think I was just angry and reaching and probably shouldn't have done that. And I was fortunate to get that money. Justin McKelvey is on the under 229. And so am I. The double-digit favorite on the first leg of a back-to-back. I'm betting it again. It's worked at this low number at 10. It's worked. I do want to see the line history. I know that total's gone against us. It didn't matter that the total we didn't time it perfectly yesterday, and I've got to work on timing this perfectly. I believe I've heard. No, it could just be made up, but there are some big dogs, some pros that know about what we're doing here on the double-digit favorite on the first leg of a back-to-back, betting the under, and that they've been hammering it. Whether I should believe that or not is another question. But here we have Orlando plus 10.5, and those of you who saw that the line move early, big move towards the under yesterday was because Suggs was sick. He's still sick. He's not playing. So there's no Suggs, no Wagner, no Isaac, no Black. And then on the other side, no Tyson, no Porter, no Jared Allen, and Proctor is probable. The total is what I want to see for the line history badly, and then we'll break it down a little bit more. From a total standpoint, we have a 230 now. I do see a 231. This got up to 231 here as well. It's now a flat 230, which is okay. Did open up at 229.5, so I like that. Again, I didn't time it perfectly, but I still like it. Tommy Turnbuckle got Magic plus 10.5 and sprinkled Magic money line. That was what I wanted to do, and you just heard from Pete. That's what he wanted to do, at least first half. My plan was first half, too, because of how angry they should be after what happened yesterday. But it's not like Suggs is coming back. So let's touch on this a little more. Magic are one game under 500 on the road, 16-17. Cavaliers 22-13 at home. Orlando's 10-8 post All-Star break, 22nd fastest pace, 98.59 possessions a game, shooting 46.5 from the field and 35 from three. Desmond Bane's being spectacular. Cleveland 10-6 post All-Star break, 27th fastest pace, 96.65 possessions a game, 48.2 from the field and 36.5 from three. I stick from it all, like in the Orlando team total under here. And so the Magic on the second half back-to-back after suffering their fifth straight loss, 128-126 at home to the Pacers last night. And this is the low point in the season. They said this is the low point. So will they bounce back? The Pacers hadn't won since February 11th. It's March 24th. It was March 23rd when they won. Banchero goes for 39 and 6 assists, and it's not enough. It's not enough. Desmond Bane went 17, 6, and 7. Now, remember, they had a 7-game winning streak before this losing streak. We have no Suggs. And also, that 7-game winning streak, it included a 128-122 home win over Cleveland. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights for Orlando. Their point guard is sick. We always know when one player is sick and out, it means other players are probably sick too, but trying to play through it. It's their 3rd game in 4 nights. It's their 4th game in 6 nights. The Cavs coming off their 3rd straight win and 4th in 5 games, 111-106 at the Pelicans on Saturday. So they flew back on Sunday and had Monday off. Harden and Mitchell went for 25 in the 4th quarter alone combined. They were down 93-78 with 10 minutes left. We heard Dutch talking about how angry the Pelicans should be after allowing them to come back here. Harden didn't score in the first half and still put up 20 points and 10 assists. Mitchell comes back from that 1-game absence because of eye injury. He puts up 27. But this is the first of a back-to-back. They host the Heat on Wednesday and Friday. And I couldn't move on the game. I couldn't move. I wanted the Magic first half, and I got scared. Yankee JJ says Magic's the worst. Lost so much money with them this year. So, Pete, can you, after all this talk about the game and laying the groundwork, knowing that Suggs is out, knowing that it's their 3rd and 4, 4th and 6, they are coming off their supposed lowest point of the year. Can you bet the Magic here first half?
Maybe I'll do first quarter.
I agree that should work. It should work. Magic first quarter, I like it. It makes sense. It makes sense. An angry group after losing to the Pacers last night. I kind of like that more than the first half because I'm scared. You're already starting your backup point guard. I kind of like the Magic first quarter better than the first half. I think I could get there.
All right, I'll take it. What the hell? I'm getting 3.5 minus 113. I'll take that one.
I like it. I'd like to join you on this. I think that makes sense. I couldn't move. I couldn't move on the first half. The projected line, Markel, for Suggs is 0 points. He's out. A Turnbuckle Tommy says it makes 0 sense, which is why I like it at this point in the season. Orlando 6-2 or 7-3 in this exact spot. Nobody wants to touch the Magic. Magic just beat the Cavs, and Cavs play the Heat next. All right, so I'd like to join you, Pete. I think this makes sense, and then I can make a bet of the Magic trying to bounce back off this worst spot, and the Cavaliers still taking care of business at the end. In fact, initially I was thinking about first half and full game for the Magic, but I like first quarter. I like this. Let's roll on to our final game here. Yes, final game on the board, and this is also Ronnie Crawford's next spot on the board. This is Ronnie Crawford's Stacks play of the day. Stacks play day number 2 is in that last game, Orlando Magic. Can you put that back up? Sorry, I didn't do that right. So we have Stacks play of the day number 1, Zion Williamson. Stacks play of the day number 2. Thank you, Jose. Stacks play of the day number 2 is the Magic plus 10.5 at minus 114. Williamson number 1, Magic number 2. Shout out to
Stacks.
Very important to know that Justin believes in this bet so much that it stacks. Like, that's just crucial. And I know I set it up, but I didn't hammer it home. Let's go into our final spot on the board. And here we have Ronnie Crawford. His spreadsheet play today is on the Denver Nuggets. Now, Pete, in this one, this is not, let me preface this with these angles that I have for totals. Remember, I tried to stop betting totals altogether. And we'll go over my numbers on totals once we get to the end of the year. But so historically, finding all of these angles for why I'm on the under, it's not like a smash and grab. But these angles for the under, I liked so much, Peter, that I doubled up on them. Pete, set us up for Nuggets, Phoenix Suns.
Well, Phoenix is, I think, pretty much locked into the 7th seed. They're both off of nice home wins. Denver beat Portland. Phoenix, they got a nice home win also. Yeah, Denver has a big favorite here, and I really don't know. I didn't really. I was kind of confused by the game, so I just didn't look into it too deeply.
The total opened up at 234.5. It climbed up to 235 initially. Now we're down to a third 232.5. I got in at 233.5 on the under, and I got in on the first half under as well. These were both at Bet365. I got in on the first half under 113.5. So now we have that 232.5. We've dropped 2 points on the total. From a point spread here, Denver opening up at -5, and they're now -5.5. They initially went to 5.5 early, came back. They're there again. So with a half-point move towards Denver. We take and Markel on the Nuggets as well. Ronnie Loft on Denver. Team total over 119.5. Allen over 13.5. Says this will probably be 15.5 by game time if he plays. Turnbuckle Tommy also on the over 118.5. And Tommy got the 235. Beautiful work, Tommy. Respect. So then we have 54% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on Denver. 86% of the cash on Denver. Circa opened this up at 5 and dropped it down to 4.5. They just brought it back to 5.5. So they start now. They're respecting the money. 60% of the tickets on the under. 94% of cash on the under. Sorry, that's wrong. Sorry, that was the Orlando game. 74%. The side was right though. 54 and 86 on Denver. 74% of the tickets on the under and 88% of cash on the under. And we have this still at 233.5 at Circa. Now they've got 90% of the tickets on the over and 87% of cash on the over. They're the only book I see at 233.5. Oh, but BetMGM is 234.5. Wow, look at that. Wow, BetMGM just brought it up to 234.5 16 minutes ago, but it's -120 to the under. Well, that's not a great sign. Drewski says it's the biggest trap of the night, the -6. So let's break this down. Denver 9-8 post All-Star break. Oh, but let's also go over who will be in and who will be out. That is crucial. For this one, we have Watson out. Now, when he's back, and when he was just back, they have their full roster in. For the Suns, Williams out, Highsmith out, Coffey out, Brooks out. O'Neal now probable. That's very helpful. And Grayson Allen questionable. These Nuggets 9-8 post All-Star break, 6th fastest pace in the NBA, 102.31 possessions a game, shooting the ball beautifully, 49 from the field and 38.3 from 3. Phoenix has the slowest pace in the NBA post All-Star break, which is not something we're very used to with Phoenix being this slow. 94.84 possessions a game. And shooting the ball poorly as well. 43.3 from the field and 36.2 from 3. The Nuggets come in off their second straight win in 3rd and 4 games, 128-112 at home versus the Blazers on Sunday. So Denver now tied with the Wolves for 4th place in the West, a half game ahead of the Rockets. Denver, Minnesota, and Houston are all ready to menace with the Lakers, who are the 3rd seed at 46 and 26. Jokic had the 28 triple-double of the year for him. He had it before the third quarter was over. 22, 14, and 4. And they got Peyton Watson back. He'd missed 6 weeks. Now, he's not in tonight, but it was a right hamstring injury, 14 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and 20 minutes off the bench. Denver held Portland to 43 points in the second half. And Jokic talked about it after the game. He said, "Did you see the difference in our defensive intensity?" And when he makes a point like that, I take notice. This is the first of a back-to-back. They host the Mavericks tomorrow night. Suns snapped their 5-game losing streak with 120-98 win at home over the Raptors on Sunday. Booker goes for 25. So, again, they played without Brooks with the hand injury, without Williams with the foot injury. Now, they played without Royce O'Neal with the knee injury. He's probable. And they played without Grayson Allen with the knee injury, and he's questionable. Gillespie, 4 more threes, 16 points. Ryan Dunn, Rasheer Fleming, 23 and 10. They combined for 23 points and 10 boards and 5 steals. So the Suns are seemingly locked into this number 7 seed with 10 games remaining. And this is game 3 of a 4-game homestand. It's their 3rd game of 4 nights, but all here at home. I think 2 things. That I've got the team post All-Star break. And remember that the statistical profile season long generally is what these models are putting together for the totals. And now the Suns are playing slower. And we just heard Jokic talk about how different it was with the Nuggets playing with defensive intensity. I think we see continued defensive intensity from the Nuggets in the slow pace with the poor efficiency and poor field goal shooting from the Suns. I'm on the first half under and the full game under in this one. Peter, any thoughts on our final game?
No, I'm going to pass on that.
So a double up for me on the under. I have not moved on Magic Cleveland, but I like that Magic first quarter. I think I move on it. Loshak is on the Knicks team total under 119.5. And then I am on the Pelicans first half +5, full game +8.5. And I'm on the Charlotte Hornets -17. Chris Mack says, I like Jokic assist. Look, Iguodala going to need double help on Jokic. Rob Free says, what's your top play in the NHL? My favorite play in the NHL is the Ottawa Detroit first period under 1.5. That's my favorite spot on the board. Now you could just take the under 6 full game if you don't like first period unders here. But Peter, let's do our final review before we are sitting next to each other for the rest of the shows. Jose, why don't you jump on with us too so we can put a bow on the proceedings? But I'm pumped up. So we have Wednesday tomorrow live from the Southtown 101. I will be joined live in person by our guys Wine Time Sports, Morgan Spooner, Jose Bouquet, and TJ. Then Thursday and Friday is Loshak and the Bag live and in person once again. I'm excited, very, very excited to be back in business with Peter. We have a quick review of all action, Peter, and then we have our parlay. I believe I know what I'm going to have for our parlay. We're 2-3 now for our parlay. We're doing well here, so let's keep it going. Shout out to Crip Key in the house. So let's roll. I'm on Boston -1 at -123. I'm on the triple up in the Ottawa Detroit game. I'm on Detroit -118, but I like the unders better. First period under +102. There's our guy Jose in business, and the under 6 at -105. If we know that Reinhardt's out now. If Lundell's in, I could move on the Panthers. I really like my card, so I might just leave it alone. Then we have, I'm going to add the Jackets. I've been waiting. Looks like the line's not going to move. I kind of get the Avalanche -1. I guess I'm starting to get there. The under 6.5 in Minnesota Tampa, I want to add to my Minnesota +145. The over in Washington St. Louis, the under 5.5 makes no sense. Now we can explain it. It's because Logan Thompson's not in that. I still think I want to get over this one. Then, unfortunately, I'm going up against AM and Toby Lane. Toby Lane's play days on the Sharks. We have AM on the Sharks. I'm on Nashville -140. I'm on Dallas -1 at -103. Vegas -128. I could kind of see Calgary, but I think I let that go. Utah -131. Anaheim -1, -113. Peter, your National Hockey League action for Tuesday, March 24th.
All right, yeah, I got Boston -1, -120. Carolina, team total over 3, -160. Chicago Islanders under 6, -110. Columbus, first period, -127. And Columbus to score first. First period, -125. To score first, -127. Washington, team total under 3, -119. And the Devils, team total over 2.5, -115.
I'm on St. Joe's +11. Spooner's on St. Joe's +11.5. Loshak's on the first half under 73.5. And we just reviewed our NBA. That is our show for Tuesday,
By the way, I
March
got
24th.
Orlando first quarter +3.5, -110.
Yeah.
And I also have that second half under if the first half goes over in the Knicks game.
Yeah, no, you're in business, my friend. That is our show for today. Thank you all for joining us here. Sick from it all. Crip Key, Justin McKelvey, Rob Free, Ronnie Lofton, Lex Steele, Chris Mack, Drewski, Tommy, Markel. Thank you guys. Man, Yankee JJ, Chappie, Kelly McInnes, Will Rondo. Thank you guys. Jason Meyer, the El Dorado custodian. He was so much fun at Pub 2. I believe it's Pub 2 or might even Pub 3.
Do we have to do the parlay?
Yes, we have to do the parlay. Dutch Boy Fresh. Thank you guys all for rocking with us. And those of you who we're going to see tomorrow, I cannot wait. Then for the parlay, my God, I wonder if a money line would be more helpful. Well, why don't you take your first? Because I'm going to be in the NHL for this. What's your leg of the parlay, Pete?
All right, it could be. Yeah, I mean, I could throw on. One of these team totals. I mean, really, St. Louis is pretty good, probably just because I think St. Louis is probably pretty good. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the. It could be iffy. It could be iffy, and I apologize if this screws it up. I think I'm going to take the NIT first half under 73.5 minus 110. Could be iffy, but I mean, I assume you're going to take Boston, right?
I think that makes, even if I like the first period under, what is the slam dunk is Boston.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to take Boston Bruins money line. But I was thinking that you might take it, so I was going to offer it up to you.
Yeah, I would take it, but
would you rather take it?
But then what are you going to do?
If you take the Bruins, then I
also wouldn't mind taking
the Mammoth.
Yeah, but when you sometimes you can't parlay team totals and stuff, so
I would take the Mammoth if you took the Bruins.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So what parlay do you think's better?
All right,
Bruins?
let's do that. I'll take the Bruins. Sure.
Okay, so we're gonna do a Bruins Mammoth parlay. Bruins Mammoth.
I also would like to tell you, Jimmy, not to put any pressure on you, that I've been quietly tailing, as you know. I am on the over 5.5 in the, I believe, I already forgot the game.
St. Louis, Washington. I knew you would.
Yes.
When I was talking about it, I was like, oh, I know his ears just perked up. I knew you would.
Yeah, 135 to win 100 on a minus 135, 5.5 is what I'm on. So I'm putting those 3 legs in a parlay for me personally.
Wow. So your unit size is being quietly climbing? Is that what's going on?
Well, I'm just up on my booking. I can quietly make these $100 bets when I feel good about them.
I like it. Jose, my friend. Peter and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow at the airport. I'm so pumped up. Please bless our action and lead us to sitting beside you at Southtown 101, which I'm so excited about. So, Jose, please put a bow on today's show, my friend, and thank you.
It should be fun. You know what the funniest part about Pubapalooza is, at least one of my favorite parts, is the next time you see Peter Loshak, he's definitely not going to look like that.
Yeah,
he's going to look completely different. Pete's snickering over there because he's been quietly plotting. Like, what am I going to do this year?
Just a shower makes a huge difference.
But he's got to show up looking like this too. Right? And then,
yeah.
The first time he did that was the hardest I've laughed at Pubapalooza. Pete tried to get me kicked out of the store. He said, "Do you allow your patrons to make fun of other patrons?"
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's good. That is good. Well, yes. So that's the best part about Pubapalooza, guys. So we can't wait to see you guys there. Nasty Nate, Wine Time Spoons, all the guys, TJ, all you guys. So it'll be a lot of fun. Shout out to you guys. Cannot wait to see everyone. The most important thing is we have to get that money, and we've got to get that money. Jimmy, I wish you luck on the next 24 hours of prep, because I'm sure these next 24 hours are you trying to prep for all the rest of the week here.
Yeah.
So I wish you luck, obviously. Pete, good flying. Let's go make some money tonight. And let's Jay. He loves the book, man.
It's easier to sleep in the black when you're losing your ass and feeling so. You know what to do. Tune in to Pub Sports Radio. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's a roller coaster ride. You're gonna catch a bad beat. No problem, keep your head up and just bet the spreadsheet. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. All thanks to Jeff Slaughter. These shows have our backs. POD's always rolling, especially the stats. Easier to sleep in the black. in the black. We got Jimmy, Jose, Dabby and the fam. Dutch wine time, Spooner and OG Wham. So hit the like button, don't say that you can't. If you know what's best, just put your money on tape.